As we always say here with Big Sales, buckle up. Hope all are having a great. How could you not have a great Friday? By the way, also, you're in America and you get to talk sports and you come here for some relaxation so you don't have to watch that shit that's going on when we're talking news. This is sports, baby. Galvanizes everyone, brings everyone together. How you doing? Here. 72 days. Okay? 72 days to the first day of training camp. 77 days until the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Chargers and Lions. Then, I think, you know what, Xander? I think by the time we get to 100 days, we need a countdown clock. 100 days until the Philadelphia Eagles drop the banner at Lincoln Financial #2. You got 111 days from today where you drop that banner in front of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that's pretty dope, man. Your second world championship in the Super Bowl era will drop on 111 days from today. And you get to do it in front of your arch rivals. And I'm saying the best rivalry in football and maybe in sports. Look, UNC, Duke, Ohio State, Michigan, Yankees, Red Sox. Because of television, we don't have the great rivalries anymore. Look what they're doing in college football. Because of realignment, you don't see Texas A&M, Texas anymore. Now, you'll get a chance to see that now more because they're in the SEC. But television takes these rivalries away. You don't get those great rivalries anymore. And since baseball's become so regionalized, nobody really looks at Reds and Cardinals or Reds and Cubs anymore like they used to back in the day. The oversaturation of television kind of makes it that way. And that's what makes football great because you get it once a week. Well, now it's 3 times a week on different days. Hell, you're going to be playing football pretty soon on every single day of the week like you did a couple years ago during the pandemic. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Also, Super Chats go to the top. Hey, by the way, I really love this. So the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles will have their superstar on the cover of Madden. The superstar of the team will be on the cover of Madden. You know, they always put the superstar of a respected team on the cover of Madden. It's awesome. I can't wait to see Saquon Barkley's face on the cover of Madden. The #1 player. By the way, I did that. I did your 22 here. Okay? The #1 player. What is this BS? You got another gig? Hey, Prince. It's called add-on. Big Sills is in high demand. Done. Nobody's going anywhere. Bro, this show goes nowhere. Do you understand that? This is like the tree. The rest of them, that Tampa job, it's like Christmas balls on the tree. That's how I look at it. All good. Looking forward to it, but not as much as this thing. Bro, I've put too much hard work, and so is Xander and Big Joe in this thing. This ain't going away. That ain't happening. It's right, man. Bro, we're not going, hey. It don't work like that with me. Get this. Folks, I could do anything from the studios of Big Sills. I'm not going nowhere. Don't fret yourself. Hey, let me put it to you this way. There's not a job in broadcasting today that's worthy of me not to just look at JAKIB and go, I'm not going to do this anymore. They don't exist any longer. Those jobs don't exist. You better not. I will bitch slap you, Prince. Thank you. Hey, look, Don't worry. You wish. You wish, mommy. You wish, mommy. Get a little ninny. What? Your little Similac, right, mommy? Don't worry, mommy. Big Sil's going nowhere. How about that, though, man? Saquon Barkley on the cover of Madden. Yes, sir, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You put the superstar right there on the cover. You ain't putting... Here, I wrote down my top 22 Philadelphia Eagle players. And this is the Big Sales rank of the top 22 Philadelphia Eagle players. Number 22 for starters. Kenyon Green. I just put him there because he's a starter. Number 21, Sidney Brown, safety. Number 20, Jan Johnson. Number 19, Jalen Hunt. Be like Saquon and AJ. Come play. Hey, get this. Hey, Jalen, do you need any help? I can help you because without us, you're Tyrod Taylor. You're Tyrod the Turd. Number 18, Nicole B. Dean. Number 17, Nolan Smith. Hey, Madden, I hope you're listening. I'm ranking the Eagles in order. Number 16, Moro Ajomo. Number 15, the greatness of the great white hope, Reed Blankenship. Number 14, Jordan Davis, Mr. Donut. Number 14. Number 13. Way to disrespect him. Welcome back. Take a pay cut. Dallas Goedert. Number 12. Big Sil's top Eagles. Quinyon Mitchell. Number 11. The other great white hope. Cooper Duzum. Here are your top 10 Eagles according to Big Sills. And with Madden rating coming out, does he agree or disagree? Cam Jurgens, number 10, center, Pro Bowler. Number 9, the plastic one, Devontae Smith, wide receiver. Number 8, linebacker, premier, Zachary Vaughn. Number 7, the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Shit, this guy's not even the best dude in his own huddle. Number 6, Landon Dickerson. And here are your top 5 Eagle players. Jalen Carter. Number 5, DT. Number 4, Jordan Mailata, left tackle. Number 3, Lane, right tackle. Number 2, A.J. Foyt Brown, wide receiver. And number 1, the man who will be on the cover of Madden, representing the Eagles in the National Football League in one of the most exposed properties the NFL has, Saquon Barkley. Hurts ain't even the best dude in your huddle. I'm not even sure what to say about that. Holy cow, man. Right? I mean, not even sure what to say when it comes to that. Got some questions for you. Hit the like button, guys. We appreciate you guys coming aboard. Okay? Do me a favor, guys. We really appreciate it. All supers. You guys have been great this week. You guys absolutely, just absolutely awesome. Awesome stuff going on, okay? All week long. Please hit the like button, guys. Sills, where's train conductor Hurts? Number 7. Dude, you got a very talented football team. And your guys kind of like probably the 7th of 11 dudes in that huddle. Get this, only the right guard and kind of like wide receiver 3 he's better than in that huddle. That's how talented that offensive football team is. That's a great team. All right, I got some unanswered questions so far. And you tell me, oh, by the way, Xander's joining us at 3:30. Jason Cole's got a new book out. And so does The Return of the Legendary Philly Godfather at 5:30. His book is killing it on Amazon, called Booked. He will be with us and bless us and you with potentially making you some money. So that'll be at 5:30. Hit that like button, man. We appreciate you guys here. So I have some unanswered questions so far. Maybe you can help us out here. Okay? Hey, like I said, your boy Hurts, man. How come he's not on the cover of Madden? Don't they usually put the quarterbacks on the cover of Madden? Especially an MVP? What happened? What happened? It's like Jalen Flacco. What happened? It's like Jalen Flacco. Hey, man, I thought Hurts was Super Bowl MVP. I know, just like Joe Flacco. I got it, man. Just like Flacco. Not hating on Jalen. Jalen's a good ball player. He's a heck of a ball player. One of the elite guys, absolutely not. But he's a heck of a ball player. Hey, man, he's a really good player. Are you kidding? All right. Here's some questions for you. Please hit the like button, guys. Appreciate you on this Football Friday being here with us. All right. So let me get to these. Let's start it out here. Who takes Brandon Graham's role as the leader of the team? I think Hurts is okay as a leader. I think he's all right. I think he has kind of funny ways about handling himself in leadership. I'm not a fan of his style of leadership. I'm a fan of his work ethic, but his leadership style, I'm not a fan of it. I think he has funny spots in how he deals with stuff. Whether it's White House stuff, A.J. Brown, whatever. It's kind of like weird shit. He's got a great work ethic. He works hard. He has a great desire to win. But when it comes to leading people, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. Like, if I'm in that huddle or I'm in that locker room, if I'm looking towards a player in that locker room, Lane's even kind of weird. Is Barkley the leader of the team? I mean, if you wanted to follow somebody and you thought you were going to get good advice from somebody in that locker room, who would it be? Hurts turned it down. Don't want the Madden curse. Yeah, that's what he did. Sure. Yeah, right. Because everyone turns it down. This guy's dope. Just like he said, Jalen was on his honeymoon. And that's why he blew off A.J. Brown's engagement. That's not true, actually. Or the White House thing. That's not true. A leader. Who would be the leader to take over for Brandon Graham? Can I tell you who I think it is? I think it's Jordan Mailata. something about Jordan Mailata. I hope Jordan Mailata becomes the leader of that football team. I think that guy says the right thing almost all the time. I think he's got everyone's back. I think he speaks from the heart. And if there's a guy in that locker room that I like, that I would gravitate to, it would be Jordan Mailata. Am I wrong? You said yesterday's Jalen's footwork and throwing is awful. Why do you think he takes 45 sacks? Josh, can he improve, you said? Yes. Josh, his footwork and his throwing technique is awful. Can it get better? Yeah. Tom Brady improved it. Just keep working on your mechanics. That's all Brady did. Mechanics and reading defenses and being in the classwork. That's what is going to make him better and better and better. Okay? That's what's going to make him better, Josh. Continuing to be a student. Get this, Josh. I want to show you something about how far behind he is. Let me ask you something here. Josh, how far behind do you think he is as being a quarterback from the pocket in this league? How far behind? And by the way, it was exposed last year. How far behind do you think Hurts is as a pocket passer in the NFL? How far away? One step. How far away? Whoa, as 2 to 3 behind Lamar? Lamar is by far a better progression reader, and he's a better – I think Jalen sees the game better, but Lamar is a better ball player. Okay, 3 years behind. Maxon, I think he's 5, 6 years behind. He just learned how to set protections. I have never heard a quarterback who was going into his 5th year had never set protections. Ever in my life. Does that mean he'll get better? Oh, absolutely. The more he is able to see, he'll see the game better because he's setting the protections. He'll have an idea where to go with the ball sooner. And he'll have an idea where and what the landmarks are when it comes to progression reading. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have done nothing but hamper the kid when it comes to teaching him how to set protections. Setting protections is how you learn how to read defenses. Where do you think the pressure's coming from? When you got somebody else doing that job for you, there's not a chance in hell that you're progressing as a quarterback. You're going off of pure skills. He just learned how to read and set protections. Guys in high school know how to set protections. You're going to try to tell me this guy's an elite guy in the pocket when he just learned how to do the basic stuff a year ago? How's that possible? Okay? How's that possible? But I'll tell you this, to his credit, it shows you how good of an athlete he is. This guy didn't really know what he was doing. Hey, what did Michael Vick tell you? He didn't learn how to read a defense until year 10. Patrick Mahomes told you his first 3 years in the league, he didn't know what he was doing. It's not a rip. He'll get better. I mean, can you imagine coming to the line of scrimmage and not knowing where the pressure's coming from and then having to play that position in the league and still winning? Look at it that way. That's unbelievable. Hey, I don't know what my landmarks are when I'm talking. No wonder he couldn't read a defense. He doesn't know where the pressure's coming from. I'm not saying he's not going to get better at that dynamic. But nobody is in here going to tell me, this guy's got great feet. Sees the game. He doesn't. He barely knew how to set protections a year ago. I think that's only going to make him a better ball player. I think he's going to get better. Because he's going to come to the line of scrimmage and go, I think the pressure's coming from the inside interior linebacker or interior. And he's going to set the slide protection that way. He may be able to even audible out of it. And I think he got better towards the end of the year. Now, again, how can you get better at doing something when you're not asked to do anything? I think they have handled him kind of funny because you've gotten 4 different versions of Hurts because of all the different quarterback coaches and coordinators that are in his ear every year. It's a new voice every year. It's a new direction. Bro, just because you have the same playbook doesn't mean the same orchestra leader is going to lead you to the same song. It's common sense. Some of you and most of you don't have it. To see what he's done and how well he's done is remarkable to a point. It's remarkable. I've never heard that an NFL quarterback heading into his 4th year a year ago had never set protections in his life. And they won the Super Bowl with a guy learning it on the job. His 4th year in. So when somebody goes like this to me, hey, what do you make of Hurts in the pocket? I know. No wonder he took 45 sacks. He don't know where the pressure's coming. You know why he takes a shitload of sacks? He takes a shitload of sacks because he doesn't know where the pressure's coming from. Or he's still learning where it's coming from. That's common sense. Everyone told you this would be the first year because of Kelsey leaving that he's going to set pass protections. All right. Absolutely. This is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Yes, sir. Absolutely. No question about it. Right? They had to teach him to be a quarterback rather than a runner with the ability to run. He depends on the run too much, and he's too predictable when he sprints away from pressure. He rolls right. He still does not really have a good sense of rolling to his left. Every time there's an issue or there's pressure, he rolls right. You're going to start setting defenses to that. Okay? Absolutely, you got to give him credit. Absolutely. There is no question. Listen. Andy Reid has been in Patrick Mahomes' ear the entire time since he's been in Kansas City. And now look at Sean McVay with Matthew Stafford. Look at the quarterbacks that are in the game. Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson have improved with each other every year they've been in Baltimore together. Do we not agree? Lamar's getting better. He's getting better and better and better. Why? Same voice in his ear, and that coordinator's understand. I'm shocked Todd Monken didn't get a job, either at the college level or at the pro level. I'm pretty shocked that he didn't get a head coaching job because he's done a whale of a job in Baltimore. I mean, you know, they had a different guy in there, and he won an MVP award. They won 14 games. There was only one guy that has won more ball games than Jalen Hurts over the last 4 years, percentage-wise. And that's Lamar Jackson. Those guys win a ton of ball games. He's a great player. Again, I think they shit the bed when they get in the postseason. And what I mean by that is, bro, if you got to outthrow or have more passing attempts or as many passing attempts as Patrick Mahomes, you're losing that game. You are losing that game. Sirianni has nothing to do with him. Zero to do with his development. Nothing. I've never last year ever heard Jalen Hurts say the influence of Nick Sirianni and my development as a starting quarterback in this league is attributed to him. The only guys a year ago I heard him talking about were Musmeyer, were Patullo, and more. I never heard Nick's name. Go ahead and lie and tell me you heard it. Look how Georgia's falling apart without Monken. Monken was the OC down there, and they have not had good quarterback play since. Absolutely. Sills, would you agree the only way to beat Philly is a team with a strong backfield like Detroit? If you're going to put 8 in the box, you're going to need 2 strong corners to contain AJ and Devo next. I would say this to you, Goat. If I'm going to play against the Eagles, I want to see if that guy for 17 weeks can beat me. And I don't believe he can. I don't believe that guy can win 4 games in a row and beat me. I just don't. He hasn't played 4 games in a row, well, since 22. And that's a fact. Let me move on here. It's a great question, by the way. Thank you. Hit the like button, guys. Get to JT Philly. Big Sills, how you doing? How you doing, brother? Thank you for the super, man. I just want to say thank you for referral to Morgan & Morgan. Recently, my daughter was in a bad accident, and I just got the word today that they're taking the case. Leave that up for me. I got to take a screenshot, and I want to send this to John. That is absolutely wonderful news that they're taking the case for you. I love it. Thank you. And I hope everything, and I'm going to make sure we're on top of this. Okay, JT Philly? Look at that, Xander. That's the power of Big Sills right there, and that's the power of you guys. Look at this here. Look at that. Fantastic, my friend. Hey, by the way, I hope your daughter's okay. Most importantly. Okay? So thank you. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate you trusting me with Morgan & Morgan. So all good, man. Hey, listen, I swear to you, all I'll do it. You guys ever have any issues with anything? I'll put a word in, and they'll take the case. Trust me. Okay? Hey, Josh, you don't have to worry about Big Sills ever having a burner account. Xander laughs every time you guys say that. Sills has a burner account. I'm like, this guy can barely log on. Burner account. All right, so here, thank you, man. That's really dope of you. Okay? So here's my second question. Will Dallas Goedert have a bigger or smaller role in 25? Dallas Goedert. Will he have a bigger role or a smaller role in 2025? What do you think? I really don't know. Gabe says same. Really, Gabe? Man. Depends on the opponent. A bigger role. I hope bigger, but I'm not going to hold my breath. What do you guys think? Again, I think they're going to have a bigger role out of Dallas Goedert. And I think Dallas Goedert has to know this. Do you not agree? You're getting a football player that's going to be in the final year of his contract. What has happened with players that you have had that have played 1-year contracts? Can you guys name them? When you are a player on the Philadelphia Eagles who has 1 year remaining, and you know that organization is not going to resign you, what is the one thing those guys have all done? Look at this. Guys are on your game today. They get big money somewhere else. If I'm the Eagles, I implement and have a bigger role for Dallas Goedert this year than he has ever had in his entire career. Hell, that may even change the narrative. If Saquon Barkley can change the narrative of how they're going to approach winning football games, why can't Dallas Goedert change their opinion on keeping him and giving him a 2-year contract extension with some money wrapped around it? Who knows? He might take a pay cut to get a bag of money when it comes to signing bonus. I mean, nothing is a given here in this story here with Goddard. Javon Hargrave played out. He got a $20 million annual deal in San Francisco. Milton Williams, he knew he was never coming back. He got a $26 million annual deal in New England. Biggest pay for an annual player in the history of the Patriots. Josh Sweat got $20 million. I mean, TJ Edwards got $7 million. Look at the guys that have had that 1 year to prove. They all cashed in. Why wouldn't you not make that guy a focal point in your offense this year? You're going to need something more. And you're going to, hey, by the way, how about this just in? Why don't you evolve the offense more instead of being so predictable? Right? Now, look, again, I made a point to you. You're not playing against very good run defensive football teams this year. You're going to run the doorknobs off these teams. Until proven otherwise, you got about 12 teams that you're going to play that are 18 and up or down, how you look at it, in run defense. I'm running the wheels off of Barkley. Running the wheels off of Barkley, and I want to get Goddard more involved. That's my takeaway. I just don't know what his role is going to be. Don't you agree with me? Dallas Goedert's role has really never been defined. I think that's why they're moving on. Hey, Sills, I'm not sure yet, but I'm either going to Detroit or the Washington game. I think both those games are going to be great, bro. I do. JD3, happy to hear you got another gig and staying here. We need Big Sills in Philly forever. Bro, I'm not going nowhere, man. I got it. I got you. That was never a question. It was never in question. That was never going to be anything other than that. Bro, I told you, the centerpiece is here, and then we're going to build around it. And okay? Nothing's changed, really. Just I got to get my fat ass up earlier. Hit that like button, guys. Here's another question. Can Kevin Patullo keep the running game on the rails? This is all one guy. You've put your eggs in one basket in your run game. And for you wishful thinkers with A.J. Dillon, and I like him, if anything goes awry with Barkley, it's over. It's over. That guy was the centerpiece of your football team a year ago. So, Kevin Patullo, are you going to put Saquon Barkley on a pitch count this year? Are you going to drop his ass on a pitch count? Yeah, that's right, dickhead. Are you going to put him on a pitch count? Maybe early on? Oh, no, bro, early on. You got the Rams, Bucks, Chiefs, and Cowboys. I mean, and those run defenses ain't all that hot. Okay, so I'd be a little bit nervous about that. Game flow? Here, let me show you what this means. When he said, who said game flow? So let's take a look at Barkley, for instance. Let's take a look at his chart. Saquon Barkley and what he did. I mean, he said game flow. So did you see? He said game flow. So he had 25 carries in the Super Bowl. He had 15 carries in Washington. The game was a blowout. Then he had 26, 26, 31 carries. I mean, look at these carries he had. 31, 29, 25, 23, 27, 27, 25, 27, 22. What do you mean the game is going to dictate it? You gave that guy almost 30 carries per ball game. Well, it's going to dictate kind of like, this guy made it sound like last year Hurts did something for you. He didn't do that. This was all Barkley had more attempts than Hurts had passing attempts all year long. So are there any weaknesses on the Bucs defense? How would you attack it? I would attack those corners. I do not believe those corners are good enough against the Eagle wide receivers. Those corners, in my opinion, I think are the weakest part. I think their safeties are great. I think Levante David's great. I think their front four can stop the run and get after people, and they do a nice job of blitzing with Todd Bowles. But I'm not sold on those corners. What's up, Sills? We are deep at tight end. With who? Harrison Bryant? Okay. Harrison Bryant's a bum. Okay. Calcaterra is okay. You guys are now sounding like you have you're great at tight end. Okay. Let me tell you something. If you go by the way Dallas Goedert's injuries have played out, Goedert goes down, you have nothing at tight end. You're as strong as the health of Dallas Goedert. The rest of those guys are meat. Depending on matchups. Now, again, to your point here, if you're going to continue to run the football, Bryant is a guy for you. Okay? Absolutely. I never heard of the guy. I never heard of him. Harrison Bryant. Who's got 5 catches in his life? Yeah, all right. Here's the next one. Will we ever see Jordan Davis at his best? Will we? I say no. I think we have seen him at his best. Will we ever see Jordan Davis at his best? Do you believe that? How about this question? Do you think you've seen Jordan Davis's best football? Yes or no? You think you've seen his best football? About time in his 4th year. Way to hold back, kid. Get this. This guy, look, we haven't seen the best Jordan. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. And you know it. Yeah, you have. This guy's not going to have some breakout year. That's who he is. That's why they demoted him from being a guy who they would use on nickel to being just a nose tackle. How are you fighting this? Even if you wanted to fight me on this, the coordinator takes him off the field. So when you say you have seen the best of Jordan Davis, the coordinator says you have. It's got nothing to do with weight. It's got everything to do with ability. Dude, fat guys can play too, just not long. You guys are wishful thinking Jordan Davis. He's a good player. He's essential in the run game. And if you don't have a guy to replace him in the run game, that's a problem for sure. But to sit there and tell me you've seen the best of a guy who plays 20 plays a game is asinine. I mean, so what's going to happen this year for some of you Jordan Davisites? What are you expecting to see this year out of him? What's wrong? Tell me what do you think is going to happen this year? He was never a pass rusher in college. Get this. Sill's a statement merchant who doesn't use his eyeballs. This guy's trying to tell you that I don't see the same thing you see, folks, when a guy plays 20 plays a game. What are you seeing? 20 plays a game. That means 70% of the time he's on the sidelines. What exactly are you seeing? He's a rotational player now. What exactly are you seeing, Rolla? That is with stats. You mean playing time? Actual playing time? This guy thinks actual playing time is a stat. Dude, that was week 4. Week 4. Stu calls this a stat. One guy gets 70% of the snaps and the other guy gets 20. That's a stat. That's called playing time. And to a player, you have incentives in your contract based on playing time. And if you don't hit them, you don't hit your numbers and you don't hit your contract incentives. 20 plays must mean he's doing his, yeah. Well, you got that from me, first and foremost. You're right. The 13th pick in the draft has been a raving success. Problem with Davis was we were sold on his combine and not his production. One of the things that I told you, Kyle, when he came out, I said this about the guy. His ability never matched up to his production. He's not a productive guy. Ajomo outplayed his draft selection. Absolutely. And so did Josh Sweat, and so did Milton Williams. That guy failed at it. Think of that. Moro Ajomo, Milton Williams, and Josh Sweat all outplayed where they were taken in the draft. And Jordan Davis has underperformed. Facts. And what Vic did was Vic put him in a role where, again, he put him in a box. I'm not going to play him on third down. He can't pass rush. So my question would be, again, have we seen the best of Jordan Davis? Yes. I mean, without a doubt. Can you imagine this? So Jahad Campbell that you drafted, can you imagine if he only remains a rotational piece? Would you think that draft pick would be a good pick or not? If he remains a rotational piece with Vic Fangio and he doesn't earn a starting job. I'm not saying Jordan hasn't earned a starting job. He has. Okay? It would not be a successful pick. And by the way, when you draft a guy in the first round, first 15 picks, you're kind of hoping he's a 3-down dude, or you can play the guy, right? Doesn't make sense how you look. Hey, once again, let's move on. Getting butthurt over a guy underperforming, and you guys are trying to look at it through rose-colored glasses and say he is. So let me ask you this. Did Vic help him more than, say, Tracy Rocker? They did exactly what Xander was asking him to do. They wanted him to play in a 3 technique. They put him in a 3 technique. They were running the ball in the second half of the season for a clip of 145 yards a game. According to Reuben Frank, who said that after week 10, teams were running the ball down their throat. When you put him in a 3 technique, he was getting annihilated. When Vic rolls in there, they put him in the nose, and he was way better on stopping the run. One-dimensional. Okay. So they moved him closer into the ball, which means he's not a 3 technique. He'll never be a 3 technique. So when you go and try to pimp your services, and it's not in Philadelphia anymore, and you ask your agent, how come we're not getting that? It's because teams are going to go, you're not a 3 technique guy. 3 techniques are the ones that make 25 to 30 million. And the only guy that gets paid big money is Dexter Lawrence, because he puts 10 sacks up. Put Davis on Jacksonville and see how much he helps everyone around him. That guy wouldn't help anyone around him down there. Absolutely nobody. Carter is the impact on the D-line, not Davis. Nobody said that. JD3, you are going to be sadly and disappointed this year when you don't have quality D-linemen helping Jalen Carter. And the conversation we had with Xander yesterday, and he goes, you don't think that Jalen Carter helped out, and you think that Josh Sweat and Milton Williams helped out Jalen Carter last year? Oh, I absolutely do. Anytime you've got good football players around you, you didn't blitz with anybody. That's not all Carter. So when you take those dudes off the field and you put Ty Robinson, Moro Ajomo, some of you clowns in here think those guys are going to command more double teams on them than on Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. That is an asinine comment to think. Nobody fears those guys. They barely feared Sweat and Milton Williams. And by the way, I'm not suggesting in any way that Jalen Carter doesn't command the majority of the doubles. Absolutely he does. He's a great football player. But to sit there and say, I'm going to take better players off the field and put lesser players on, and that's going to enhance Jalen Carter's season this year, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Jordan Davis has to have a great year for the losses of Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. And once again, Silsey, are you saying you think Josh Sweat and Milton Williams are special players? Last year they were. Why? Well, on their resume, they got the #1 defensive football team in the NFL a year ago, and they were a big part of it. We'll see where you land at the end of the year. We shall see. Like I said yesterday, and I'll continue to say it, not one place have you upgraded on defense. Not one place from the Super Bowl. You did not get better anywhere on defense. You downgraded. Keely Ringo is going to replace Darius Slay. The kid from Texas is going to replace Gardner Johnson. And like I said, it's not that those guys were sensational. But all of those guys that you're replacing, I mean, when you take one piece, let me ask you this. And here, let's go here. So you guys don't think those guys are replaceable, right? If you take A.J. Brown off that offense this year and say he gets hurt in week 1, how do you think that team will look, especially the passing game? One player. How do you think that thing will look? How will that look? Thank you for the Lane Johnson comment. By the way, Lane was talking that comment that the offense looked constipated, I think, after New Orleans. You start taking pieces off units. Hey, look here, let's look at this. Let's take more of a comparison. Do you think that the loss of Mekhi Becton will be felt, yes or no, in the run game? Do you think that guy not being in there, or no? Carter's better than Dex. No, he's not. Thank you very much. Deck has 6 years on him. So what? Today, on May 16th, Dexter Lawrence is better. Okay. So, Senor says barely. It'll barely be an issue. Okay? I'd keep an eye on that. Can give two people the exact same ingredients to make a sauce and they will both come out different. Absolutely true. Coordinator, you're talking, I'm assuming, or putting different players, that's right, in certain roles. Remember something, folks. It's not about losing a player. It's about changing your unit. That's where you get mixed up in. Even get this. Even Merrill Reese yesterday knows it. Most of you don't in here. Most of you do not. Question will be, Kevin Patullo, keep that run game on the rails? Okay? Here's another one. Who's the second corner? Who are you putting over there? Watch these responses and tell me how you feel about them when they start posting them. Who are you putting at the second corner? Okay. Who are you putting at second corner? Just answer the question. A guy you cut. Chris, I'm with you. But Dory Jackson is not going to do the role in the job with a schedule like that. That's not going to cut it. That's not an answer. Look at the names you're putting up there. Eli Ricks. Keely Ringo. Look at the names you're putting up there. That's your responses? What a joke. Keely Ringo. And who's the other guy? Eli Ricks. This is too funny, man. It's really. Yeah. Keely Ringo, Dory Jackson, and Eli Whitney. Or what's his name? Eli what? Eli Wallach? Oh, wait, that's an old actor. Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Who did Eli what? Eli Ricks. That's it. Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, and who else? Dory Jackson. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. This could get funnier. Now, hey, by the way, what are you talking about? The Eagles don't think he can play corner. The Eagles don't think he can play corner. Or he'd be over there. Silsey's more important that he's in the slot. Yeah, well, I can tell you what the NFL thinks when it comes to more importance. Take a look at payrolls. This narrative that Hurts is carried is fake news. AJ wasn't an all-pro before he got here. Goedert was a career high, was 300 before Jalen started. You're right. I'm sure 2,900 yards is elite good in this league with 18 TD passes. That's one of the most pathetic numbers I've ever seen on a Super Bowl championship team by a quarterback that doesn't have to do anything until he's, quote, asked to. Give me a break. Listen, I think he's perfect for what they do. I'll never take him out of the top 5. Wins a lot of games. He's not the carrier of that team. The guy in the backfield is. I'm more nervous about corner 2. Corner 1 is Quinyon Mitchell. Okay? Most versatile defense in football? No, you're not. You're still thinking about February 9th. That team's gone. No, it's not. You don't have the same. How can you say you have most versatile defense when you don't even have the same defense? You do not have the same defensive players. We got our core. You do not have the same defensive players. They just don't. All right, so the names you mentioned on the second corner is Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, and Adoree Jackson. Okay? So, who's taking the C.J. Gardner-Johnson role? Okay? No one. Why would you think you do? Who plays Gardner-Johnson's role? Who plays the Gardner-Johnson role? Who plays Gardner-Johnson role? No one? Who plays the Gardner-Johnson role? Bro, hold on here. Are you 5 years old? That's not the question. Cooper. Makuba. Brown. So Sidney Brown and Makuba are going to take the role. Is that right? Okay, so here's what we got. Corner, we got Eli Ricks, Adoree Jackson. Who else? Keely Ringo. Here, wait. I want to show you this. Sidney Brown. Who else? Makuba. Second round pick. Okay, number 2 pick. So here you got in your secondary, You're going to fight it out back there for a safety and cornerback spot with Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown, and Makuba. Is this right? I'm asking questions. Are those the players that you're picking to cover 2 starting roles in the secondary? Those are your names. Anybody else? Tristan McCullum. So here are the names that will do battle for a corner spot and a safety, and backup roles are Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown, Makuba, and Tristan McCullum. How do you think those guys are as players? What would you say? How good do you think Keely Ringo is? Scale of 1 to 10. Lewis Klein. So here, again, we had a Lewis Klein. Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, Adoree Jackson, who you just got a couple months ago. Sidney Brown, Makuba, you drafted. Tristan McCullum, and Lewis Klein. So you think Keely Ringo's about a 5 as a ball player, 10 being the best? How about Eli Ricks? Nobody's wrong here. I'm just asking. What do you think of Ricks as a player? Out of 10. I can't do Makuba yet because I got to see him play. Abe's got 4. 3. RC3's got 6. I'm doing people who have at least a little common sense here. About a 3? All right. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Adoree Jackson, who was cut by the Giants. What do you think he is? Scale of 1 to 10. I'll make a point here in a minute. So you think the Giants cut a guy that had a rating of a 6? The Giants cut a 6 guy. Only Ringo I know plays the drums. Me too, dude. I don't know anything about this guy. I would say Keely Ringo's a 4. Sidney Brown. Scale of 1 to 10. What do you think of him? Not using Makuba because I've never seen him play an NFL down. I've seen these other guys play. Sidney Brown. I'm okay with a 5. I'm all right with a 5. Tristan McCullum. Another 5? 4? 3? Where are you? I know Vic likes him. Vic likes the guy. Okay? I don't have a problem with giving him a 4. I'm all right there with that. Lewis Klein. 3? Okay. So you're going to replace CJ and Slay, who are probably 7s, with 3 and 4 ranked star type guys. And let me move on. So you're going to rank those guys that you just rated them with guys who are on the number 1 ranked defense with 3s and 4s, type talent guys in your eyes. I made it very infantile and easy for you. And you're even answering it. You're answering it by saying you're going to play guys who you think, if you were going to put like a star, like you do in college recruiting, a 3-star guy versus 7-star guys, and that's going to replace you, and those guys are going to be in seamless transition. Is that what you're saying? All right. You can't even answer your own questions without even questioning your thinking. All right. Now, again, I want to go back to this one here. I'm going to be curious to see how the Eagles use Saquon Barkley. Look at, hey, Bob, you're talking about a guy who's not even on your unit yet. If you're talking about people you don't even have on your team, with a guy that's not even on your ball team, you must not have too good and high respect for the guys that they currently have on the roster. You're talking about a guy who's begging for a job. Let me see something here. Let's see something here. Okay. You know how you guys say that Gardner Johnson a year ago? So he was 20th out of 171 safeties. He was ranked 8th in coverage grade. And he was ranked 5th in pass breakups and 3rd in interceptions. You're going to replace him with Tristan McCullum. All right. Hey, he did get beat. He sure did. They still were number 1 in pass defense. No. I never got this one, dude. Vic must not have liked them. It had to be something to do. Okay? It had to be something to do with the way that he played, or I don't know what it was. But to move off a guy was kind of cheap. I didn't really think that number was high. Then again, maybe it was too high for them at $7 million, because he got $7 million to go play in Minnesota. Okay? So I want to revisit this one question here for you guys. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button here. So how are the Eagles again going to use Saquon Barkley in 25? How are they going to use him? Sparingly? Same? More? How do you think they're going to use him? Same, right? So we can expect the same from the passing game. Right? Not a lot of passes. Going to hang around that same number. Maybe a 5% increase. Try to get Goedert. How are they going to use? Are we going to see the same style? Are they going to try to evolve it? I don't know why he would. How are they going to handle Barkley? Senor says more carries. I think you're flirting with disaster, but again, I don't think you can save things This is the NFL, like you said. When you start trying to protect players is when players get hurt. Saquon's going to have to go another 400 carries. If Saquon Barkley does not, get this, remember I said this. If Saquon Barkley doesn't have over 320 carries this year, you guys aren't going anywhere. I think he's got to be north of 350 carries again. 360. Somewhere in there. You're playing shitty run defenses. I think Hurts, you know what I would do? If I were the Eagles, I would up the RPO. Wouldn't you? I would up the RPO. I would run Hurts more. Right? Run him more. Hey, if you want to be a run-dominant team, run the quarterback more. Less chance to turnover. He, if you run the RPO, he knows to get down. This is a great take right here. Shows how when they call flags on us every time. Here's the one thing, too. I don't think they legislate the running quarterbacks very well yet in this league. With some of these old school guys that still are refereeing, and they've been refereeing in like 30, 40 years. I think they look at the running quarterback and they don't do a good enough job. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm listening to Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil thinks they should run him more. I'm not being sarcastic. Why not run him more? If you know you're not going to be a team. Now, again, that's not going to make. And by the way, Boomer Esiason and both Phil Simms say you have more control of getting hit in open space and open field in the RPO than you do sitting in the pocket. He can always get down. I want him to make a business decision. I don't want to see anybody stepping in there at the quarterback position. I'm not looking to get his ass hurt, but I'm looking to utilize the one thing that I do well and where all my money is. All my money's in the O-line. You're not getting your value out of the O-line in the pass game. You're getting it in the run game. How does that not make sense to run more with the quarterback? And they are, maybe that's one of the reasons they are instituting the fullback and putting it back in Philly. Hey, I like that idea. If you want to pick up, what is Jalen Hurts averaging right now? What is he averaging for carries? Where is he right now in his career averaging? When it comes to his carries since he's been in the league. I want to up his running. So here's Jalen's running attempts. This is since the first year he's been in the league. Thanks, Xander, on that thing. I appreciate it, brother. Okay, so he ran his first year 139 divided by 15. He ran 9 times a game. Then he went 165. 15. He went to 11. Then he went to 157. Brought him back down to 9. That was the 23 year. And then this last year, $150 carries. So When he's successful, he's north of 10 carries. Okay? He's north of 10 carries. Increase the RPO. Don't increase the passing yards. Why? You didn't need it a year ago. Why in the world? Now, look, and I agree with John McMullen. There's no doubt. They're sitting in that NovaCare Center going just like this. You got to get the passing game going. Do you? Do you really? You got to get the passing game going. How about enhancing the run game more? And the years that Jalen had a ton of touchdowns last year, why would you want to increase the passing? He's not that great a passer. They know that. And you have a bell cow back. One of the very few since Adrian Peterson. They look at, and again, this is not in any way looking at it just for what it is and not making an opinion on it. If you're looking at your offense this year and how you're going to handle it and how you're going to handle Saquon Barkley and how you're going to try to want to repeat, that's not through the air. If you repeat, you're going to repeat running the ball, not throwing it. You're just not. So, and if you're Jalen Hurts, don't you do this if you're Hurts? You know, let's try to get to tight end more because it's a high percentage play to the tight end. A wheel route, 5 yards, turn, throw. Get the ball out. Those slants to AJ. AJ's dynamic on the slant. I don't think that's going away. Shit, I think you throw the ball the same amount of times, but I think you run more RPOs out of it. Jalen Hurts does not have a high ceiling of playing time. Why try to preserve this thing? If you're not going to try to preserve Barkley, why him? Play this thing until it breaks. This guy's not a 17-year, like when his wheels leave him, he's not all of a sudden, if Jalen Hurts lost his wheels, he'd be out of the league. He'd be out of the league. Quarterbacks in the NFL, like those other, they're not, if Josh Allen loses his wheels, he's not out of the league. This guy throws for 4,500 yards. So remember that. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to use Barkley. Use them both more. I don't think AJ's going to be too happy with that. Okay? Like, look at this guy here. When did I ever say that about Warren Moon? Warren Moon didn't run. Warren Moon was not a runner. What the hell are you, guy? You have to be as smart as a doorknob. I mean, there's only one use for it. Your shitty postings and stupidity. You were as dumb as the doorstop, not the doorknob, because the doorknob turns. I mean, the doorknob turns. You are just like a doorstop. You know the thing you kick under the door? So you don't want coming in because somebody's like Flex is watching porn down in his basement of his cousin's house. I mean, you put that in there and you know what I mean? You are so stupid, man. You know what? I feel sorry for you, man. Seriously. You okay? Would you trade AJ for a wide receiver threat that's cheaper and legit corner? Who? Patrick Surtain or Derek Stingley? Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. And you want to throw Nico Collins in? Yeah. All right. You want to give me Nico Collins and you want to give me Derek Stingley? Sure, I'll do that for AJ. Yeah. Ask the Titans if they would, or the Texans, if they would do that. I don't think so. And they just gave that guy $30 million. Yeah, hey, I'd do that. Sure. Since this conversation's a little bit too tough for some of you here. By the way, Xander will join us at 3:30. Then we will hit up our friend Jason Cole at 4:30. He's got a new book out, and the legendary Philly Godfather will be with us at 5:30. We haven't had him on in a bit. See what Bob's got to say. Bob, last year the run-pass ratio was 82-18. If we could throw the ball a bit more effectively, Barkley could be just as productive on less carries because the pass will need to be respected. Oh, I think A.J. Brown was respected. A.J. Brown is respected in both the run game and the pass game. And I got to tell you, I was telling Xander this, that I think one of the things that really shocked me about Steve Spagnuolo's game plan against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they took Jalen Hurts for granted. And they just didn't think he could win. And they didn't think he could beat him. And I'm kind of shocked with that because that kid can beat you. I don't think he can beat you every week, but I think that guy can beat you. Okay? Feeling pretty good today, kid. What are you talking about? I'm feeling pretty good. Only Sills could have that type. No, you put it in my brain because of how you act. I mean, you guys are ridiculous. I mean, Sue too. She's stupid sometimes too. Sills, not AJ respect. The secondary and linebackers can cheat up for the run. They'll need to play it straight. Hoss, I think they need to institute the RPO a little more. Here's the last question. You think Howie's got one last trade in him before the start of the season in September? Do you think he has one more deal in him before the end of the year? Do you guys? There's my boy right there, man. New Jersey Maniac. At least one more. All right. All right. Oh, man. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. Thank you. I'm having fun today with some of you imbeciles. It's okay. Like, look at Twiz here, man. He's had a rough one. I mean, this guy will swear to you, nothing's changed. Everything's great. Sileo's ridiculous. He's got terrible takes. This guy doesn't know his ass from a hand. I'm telling you, I got it here. And this Twiz, I'm going to name you Twiz McMullen. This guy's never wrong. Twiz McMullen. Holy cows. I could have sworn today my ear started bleeding when I heard 3 picks ain't shit in the game. Okay. I was like, what? 3 turnovers. Fuck it. No big deal. Guy dropped the pass. I'm like, what the hell was what? What are you talking about, guy? 3 picks. Yeah. Ask Lamar Jackson if he thought those 3 picks were indicative of losing that Bills game. Simmons for depth just in case Reed gets hurt. I was like, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. No, but then again, I also heard, I'm not going to name any names because I sound like I'm picking on people sometimes. I'd rather have 4 Super Bowl appearances in a row than win one. Be like, I don't know. I don't know. That's like walking to the altar 4 times and Sue tells me no. Eventually, I'm going to start thinking, Jesus, don't you think I got one day Sue's going to say yes? I mean, shit. So I walk to the altar 4 times with Sue. She looks at me. She goes, yeah, I don't think today. Yeah, you did it 4 times to me. No, I don't think. I'm not feeling it today. How you doing? Sills, it honestly sounds like you were down in your Connecticut basement doing absolutely Pharrell on your meat stir like a deli worker possessed. Whoever your writer was the last couple days, Prince, I really thought that you had some good writers, but this thing right here, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Connecticut down in my basement. I mean, what are you talking about, Junior? You need a better script writer, guy. You were doing very well. Now you're back to being an imbecile. Ask Godfather what horse he likes in the Preakness this weekend. I definitely will. Hey, Brent, seriously, son, take the rest of the day off. You might need it. You too, Sue. Don't get too crazy. I like my boy Prince, but Jesus Christ, man, you need a better script writer. You know the guy who wrote the script for the roast with Brady's? You need somebody like that, dog. Holy cow, Prince, man, you lost your marbles this week. I mean, you were doing very well Monday through Thursday, and then Friday. See, you're just like Hurts. You couldn't play 5 games in a row. You couldn't do 5 days in a row, Prince. What a on. Holy cow. I got, before I get Xander on here, Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, Dory Jackson, Sue. No, excuse me. Sidney Brown. I'm sorry, I couldn't read my own writing. Tristan McCullum. And his name is his name Lewis Klein? Klein? So wait, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 7 guys that you're going to find a corner and a safety, a backup corner, and a backup safety to. Is that right? Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, Andrew Jackson, Sidney Brown, Tristan McCullum, and Lewis Klein. Got it. I got it. All right. This has been a lot of fun today. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Oof. Boy, I'll tell you today, man. I don't know what got into Xander. I think I know what happened to Xander today. See, every time Xander gets out there on that Cape May thing, he's in a good place. He just starts firing back. I thought Xander was getting ready to do one of the arm wrestling, man, with John. You can always tell when John, because that Irishman, that Irish blood of his starts flowing under his neck. You ever see John McMahon? Without further ado, we bring in the co-host from Birds 365, my boy, who's killing it there on Birds 365, Big Z, Xander Krauss. How you doing, brother?
What up, Big Sills?
How you doing, Junior? Brother? I'm doing, man.
I can tell, a lot of news. Fired up.
I'm having a good time here. Look at this, man. Listen to this. So here we are on the calendar. We're 72 days from the first day of training camp. We're 77 away from the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions. We're 111 away from the banner being dropped in Philadelphia Lincoln Financial. Where did the offseason go? Where'd the offseason go, dude?
Ready. I love it, though. I love it, man. I mean, you're right, though, man. I woke up, Sills, the same thing, and I did that this morning. I'm like, 111 days. Holy crap, man. We're moving quick, but, hey, it's a good thing. And you know what it is, Sills? It goes quicker when you're champions, man, because, you know, you're not champions every year. So we're champions this year. And I feel like, Sills, even you feel like a champion this year. You'll say, Jalen, this. You've covered this team now every day for 4 years, almost 5. You feel like a champion this offseason, Mr. Sileo.
Well, here. Okay, I look at it this way. That was really nice news on February 9th. It was great news. What a wonderful deal. But now we're in a whole different ballpark here because it's a whole different football team. You don't have the same football team. I mean, I have some questions, Xander, that I would like answered from you. So I wrote a couple of these notes down here. What is the role going to be for Dallas Goedert this year? Bigger? Less? More of the same, what we saw a year ago? How do you see them envisioning Dallas Goedert this year? Will he not be used? Will he just be a security blanket for old Jalen Hurts? I mean, how are you using how are you using Dallas Goedert this year?
Dallas Goedert's going to have a tremendous year this year because, Sills, I think they're going to pass more. I do. I think they're going to have to pass more this year, man. And, you know, Jalen does like Goedert when, when he throws to the middle of the field, he does. But he did like him in the playoffs. You know, he was a key target for them last year when they did take away the run game. I think Dallas Goedert's going to have a big year. Remember, there's other motives here for Dallas Goedert this year, you know, that are deeper than the team. There's personal motives where contracts into play and all sorts of different things. So I think Dallas Goedert is going to have a big year this year.
You know, I'm going to deviate off of some of this stuff here. What I'm going to get to here are some of my questions because I wrote down my Big Sills preseason playoff football teams in the AFC and in the NFC. Who would you like me to start with first, NFC or AFC?
Let's go NFC. Let's go where the real teams are.
Okay. Sitting at number 7, wild card, the Minnesota Vikings from the NFC North will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoff race. Number 6, from the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers.
Are you about to have three NFC North teams?
From the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles at number 5. Number 4, the champions of the NFC West will be the Los Angeles Rams. Number 3, the champions of the NFC East, the Washington Commanders.
This is a joke list.
Number 2, the NFC South champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way,
how good do you think the Bucs are going to be this year?
Well, I think they got a really shitty schedule.
So you think they're going to have a better record than the Rams?
Yeah. They got an easier schedule than the Rams.
All right, I'll give you my 7. I can think of them off the top of my head.
Bro, this doesn't mean they're better teams. This just means you're playing shittier people. I mean, you see, what people do, they get fucked up over because the team's got a better record. That means you're a better team. That doesn't mean that. You play in the Big 12 like that. Well, how about this? I'll give it no one. You play in the NFC South versus playing in the NFC North. And a team
You sucking up to the Bucks?
No.
No,
They just own
accused.
No, they just own you.
You have been accused, Big Sills.
Go ahead. I've never sucked up to any team in my. By the way, one thing people always know: teams I cover, I'm harder on. And the number one team in the NFC will be the Detroit Lions. So here are my 7. Lions 1, Bucks 2, Washington 3, Rams 4, Eagles 5, Green Bay 6, Minnesota 7.
Trash.
Where?
Trash.
Tell me where. Tell me what teams you would put in over Green Bay and Minnesota. Let me guess. Seattle, maybe? Arizona?
Number 7 is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. No, number 7 will be the Washington. No, Packers will be 7. Commanders will be 6. Cowboys will be 5. Bucks will be 4. Lions will be 3. Rams will be 2. And the Philadelphia Eagles will get the 1 seed again. Those will be your 4 division winners, the top 4. And then you got.
You didn't get it last year, the 1 seed, but okay, I got your point. You didn't win the top seed last year. Detroit did.
We're going to get it this year.
Oh, this year. Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. I know what you meant, kid. I just want to make. Think Chicago has a shot to get in there in that 7?
I don't know. I thought I did till I read that story about Caleb Williams. Dude's looking for every way out in the world. That organization's a mess. Did you hear Boomer Esiason today?
No.
Oh my God. He absolutely took that dude to the cleaners.
What did he say? Just paraphrase it.
Young man, you have a chance to make $500 million on your next contract in one of the greatest sports leagues to ever exist on planet Earth, and you got every excuse in the world. Somebody needs to teach you a lesson, young man. Go out there and work. Stop crying. Stop bitching about everything. It's great.
Don't you think that's the modern day guy that's coming out of college now because of what, look, everybody feels entitled now because of the amount of money you're making in college now, where kids can walk in here and kind of try to dictate their own avenue. I mean, then again, I didn't hear Boomer kicking the shit out of Eli Manning when he didn't want to play in San Diego and he wanted to play in New York. Just because you're friends with the Manning family, I love Boomer.
Yeah.
Had him on this, man. But I'm just saying, I didn't hear him shitting on Eli.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Here's my AFC. Number 7, the Denver Broncos from the AFC West. Number 6, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, AFC North.
They got to get back into the playoffs. I agree.
They got to be better than 6.
I don't think I don't know. Who's in that division?
I know. I hear it. I got the Chargers at 5.
You got them taking a big jump.
I got Houston at 4. Dude, I think Houston is a really great looking. I got to tell you something, Doug. That guy, Nick Caserio, not being in New England, it is an absolute fact. That Houston Texans defense doesn't have a weakness on it. I'm telling you, man, they're a good football team, man.
I guess you got the Chiefs winning the West again.
Barely over the Chargers.
Because they win it every year, so it's not a bad take, but I don't know how far back they're going to
see the Chargers taking them.
Yeah, I think it's a sleeper. It's a potential. It's a sleeper.
I got the Chiefs 3rd. I've got Baltimore 2. And I got the Bills 1. By the way, I heard John say today, he goes, Buffalo might be overrated. They may be overrated, but they're not more overrated than that AFC East.
No, they're not. The AFC East is terrible. That was why John said that the Eagles are going to beat the Bills, because he was like, I think they're going to have that thing locked up early. The AFC East is a joke. I mean, unless Josh Allen gets hurt, there's nobody even has a chance in that thing.
But I'm going to tell you what happened and what's going to happen next week. And you tell me, this is one of the questions I was going to ask you. What do you make of this? So next week, it's not just about the tush push. So I want to show you this here. And this is going to determine a lot and why you're not going to have those week out endings like you do at the end of the year where the Eagles are sitting guys. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that any longer. Here's why. This is what's been proposed under the Lions. And I think they're going to approve this. The 7 teams in each conference would still consist of 4 division champions and 3 wild card teams. However, the big change is that teams would be seeded by who has the best record under this proposal. A wild card team, I'm reading from Rich McKay, could be seeded ahead of a division winner if the wild card team has a better record. This means that a wild card team would be seeded as high as 2 under the current format. The 4 division winners get the top 4 seeds, followed by the 3 wild cards. So here's what it would look like. Last year in the playoffs, Lions got the number 1 seed. They were 15-2. Eagles got the 2nd at 14-3. The Bucks were 3rd at 10-7.
Right.
Rams were 4th at 10-7. Vikings were 5th with a 14-3 record. The Commanders were 6th at 12-5. The Packers were 7th at 11-7. Here's what it would look like if this thing gets approved next week. The Lions would get the number 1 seed at 15-2. Eagles would still get the 2nd seed at 14-3. But then the Vikings would jump up from the 5th hole and go into the 3rd hole at 14-3. And the Commanders would go from the 6th to the 4th, which would mean this. The Lions would get the bye. The Eagles would play the Rams in the opener.
Is that the new playoff seeding? I don't know if I like that.
That's what they're proposing.
That's what they're proposing at the meeting next week?
Yes.
I don't think I like that. What do you think of that?
Man, that sounds like you're penalizing the good teams at the top.
Well, I think there's got to be something that gives you an advantage for winning your division.
Well, yeah, home game.
Let me read this new format because I followed you, but I don't know exactly what the format is.
Okay, again, they're gonna seat these teams by records instead of.
So they're going to do it by record and then still include the 4 division winners.
Yes, but the 4 division winners would fall underneath. Like again, last year, Lions, Eagles, Bucks, Rams. Those were the 4 division winners. Under the new proposal that the Lions put out that the owners really like, it would be Lions, Eagles, Vikings, Commanders would be the top 4. And the Buccaneers, remember, the Buccaneers and the Rams would be the bottom.
Right.
So you got division winners that would be taking on the Lions and the Eagles. How's that right when you got lesser teams taking on each other in the middle of the – I mean, the Vikings –
won't this disincentivize losing or winning your division to some extent? I know you're still going to get in if you win your division, but, I mean, it's got to disincentivize it a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what it also does? That means you can't take layups. At the end of the year, there's no – like you can't take
have a better
15 and 16 off. So if they propose that and they put that in play for the competition committee this year, that means this. When you say this, well, they may have that thing wrapped up. Well, you may have your division wrapped up, but you can't have layup. You can't just start laying games and laying eggs in games because you lose your seeding. They're saying to me with this new format that it looks like they want to look at seeding more important than winning a division.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. That's interesting. I'm not sure they're going to pass that. You think they're going to pass that?
I think what it does, though, I think Xander.
Yeah, Shane's right. Makes winning every game matter.
That's right. You don't have any. You can't take last year. What did the Eagles sit? The Eagles side everybody in the final game against the Giants, right? But you can't do that now.
Yeah, right.
If that gets passed, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think I do like it from that perspective. It adds more meaning to every single game. But I don't know. I do think there's got to be an emphasis on the division as there has been. I don't know. I'm indifferent. If it goes that way, I won't like bitch about it. I'll be good with it. But as long as the Eagles keep winning, they'll get in. But
hey, like I said, though, man, you might be a better team, though, Xander. Okay, and say you
Who would we have played in round one? Last year we played the Packers round one. This year we would have played the Rams round one. Or no, with the new format. With the new format.
With the new format, you would play the Rams.
We would have played the Rams instead of the Packers.
And the Vikings would have played the Bucks.
I hope we play the Packers every year in the playoffs. That team's going to shit the bed. They had one big playoff win versus the Cowboys, and then they're still living on
the Commanders playing the Lions. The Commanders would be playing the Packers, and that's an easier road.
Right.
To me, it just looks at that 4-hole is easier to get to the division. I mean, to the NFC title game if you're in that 4-hole. Like if you're in the middle of the group. And not at because if you're at the top, are you trying to tell me that if you play in a really tight division like the NFC North, say you play in the NFC North, and that thing is nip and tuck, and the team has 11 wins,
right?
You got 4 teams with 10+ wins in that, and it only was determined by 1. You mean to tell me I got to play a better team from a better division because there were better teams in it? And the Buccaneers, this is why I say the Bucs are going to have a good year. They play the toughest schedule. So the Bucs should get the Bucs, because they won more games in a shittier division, get a top seed over a team from the East or the North.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I'm kind of with Twiz too. I mean, always trying to fix something. Just leave the game alone, man.
Yeah.
Why do we got to change everything all the time? I'm with you, Twiz, on that part of it. Shit.
Hey, I agree with John on this one. I don't think they're going to get rid of the tush push. I just think you're not going to be able to push or use players to help.
Yeah, like just going to reword it. That is getting rid of the tush push.
It is.
They're not going to come out and say we're getting rid of the tush push. They're going to say we've been pushing in our league.
You know the leverage play that you have where you can't jump over somebody to block a field goal?
Yeah, right.
You're going to have a rule put something like that in where you can't have players assisting players from behind like you have Goedert pushing Hurts and all that. I think they're going to outlaw that, and I think they're going to stop the scrum. I think they're going to have a quicker whistle. So, like, you don't get, like, everyone's just pushing the pile. Because to me, I think it's the pushing of the pile that gets the first down more so than anything else because they have the meat and they have the best O-line. All right, let me ask you some of these questions. So I asked you one of them already about Dallas Goedert. Who takes the leadership role of Brandon Graham on this Eagle team coming into this year?
It's a great question, man. It's a big ask for Nolan Smith, but don't you see a lot of similarities in their personalities? And I'm not insinuating that Nolan Smith is ready to be the type of leader that Brandon Graham is. I do see a lot of similarities in their personalities. You'd be surprised to hear this, but John tells me that Jordan Davis is a big leader in that defensive line room. Now, I don't know if that means he is on the full defense. My big gripe with that, Sileo, is if you're going to be a leader, you got to be on the field, don't you? Like how do you lead from the bench? I just don't know how that works that well. So it's a definitely an uphill thing to find someone with, that was Brandon Graham's caliber of leader. He was one of the best leaders we've had in a long time. Mr. Eagle himself. I don't know if you're going to replace him, Sills. I don't think you're going to replace that leadership.
I asked Clint Hurt what kind of locker room setup it's in that room. He says it's circular. And he goes, that's by design with Sirianni. And I go, that's a great call by him.
Circular? What do you mean by circular?
Okay, like you're all looking at each other in the face.
Oh yeah. It's definitely like that. But I've heard there's clicks in the locker room for sure.
Yeah, but you're looking one another in the face. I don't like sharp corners in locker rooms because that means you can hide. I want to see everyone's face. He said that the best leader in that locker room is Jordan Mailata.
I could see that.
He says he takes no shit. He says exactly what's on his mind. The players both sides of the ball gravitate to him. You know what he does with Nolan Smith and all those other guys? He goes across the way and helps those guys saying, this is what gives me trouble. This is what offensive linemen are looking at, especially when you're lining up wide like this. And so he's out there. Lane does the same shit too. I get it. But Lane's kind of weird. And you know who else is weird? It's Hurts. I'm not questioning his work ethic. I'm not questioning his winning. It's just you and me have both said, there's like he's got like spots in his leadership where you go, I don't know, man. Come on.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just saying, some guys lead differently, man. Some guys just do. When I look at a guy like Mailata in that building, I like Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata, I would gravitate to as my leader in that room because
I can see
know,
that.
And I'm not saying Jalen doesn't come off genuine. Barkley too. Like the guys I like as leaders in that room would be Mailata and Barkley. That makes sense?
Yeah. Barkley, Hurts, to me, I think Hurts is a leader. Hurts is a different kind of leader. Like I don't dislike what you said that he's not your style of leader. Everybody can have their own styles of leader, but I do think Jalen does lead. It's just a different way. It is. I think it's a different way. I think he's more of a calm, cool, collected type of leader. I'd rather show you than tell you. And I think that, he's still a leader in that room for sure. Anytime you're making $50 million, anytime you win Super Bowl MVP, I think you have the ear of people around you. But I don't disagree. Saquon's definitely vocal. I mean, you can hear it. I'm not sure if you watch the mic'd ups that they put out all year, but Saquon's a very vocal guy on the sideline for sure.
All right, so let me throw this at you now. Can Kevin Patullo keep the running game on the rails?
Well, is it fixed for him? I mean, he's got the best offensive line in football and one of the best running backs in football. It's like, how can he mess that thing up?
Well, they did in 23. Had the same old line. I'm not saying
they didn't have Saquon, but
I get it. But they still had a 1,200-yard runner.
Yeah, I hear you.
Guy got an $8 million deal in Chicago.
Yeah, but those guys didn't have gravitas. I mean, you just mentioned Saquon as a leader. The gravitas of Saquon is enormous. You know,
but bro, you've had an all-pro running back 3 straight years with 3 different dudes.
Right. No, I hear you.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, they're still. You're not selling me that those guys are Saquon Barkley or anything.
I'm trying to tell you that their mentality. No, I'm selling you a mentality here because that's what they do. They run the ball. Do you think he stays on the rails?
Yeah, I do.
I proposed adding actually more RPOs so that Hurts can be more involved in the run game.
Nah, I don't know if we want that.
Well, what? Dude,
that's going to slow him down on the other stuff.
Man, I don't. Hey, I had a guy tweet in here or post in here. He goes like this. He said, "Seals, you said that Hurts is not very good in the pocket." I go, "Well, he's still learning." I mean, I've never heard in my entire life that a guy a year ago had never learned how to set protections until last year. And so you're telling me 5 years in the league, 4 years as a starter, this is the first time you've ever done that?
Right.
You want to know why he takes sacks? You want to know why he's still learning how to read defenses? Can you imagine the number one thing that helps you set up and how you read a defense is identifying where pressure's coming from? Do you know for him to win, and I'm not ripping him, I'm giving him kudos here, and I'll tell you why. For him to have won, not knowing where pressure's coming from is pretty remarkable.
No, you're right. But I mean, that's part of that's being drafted into a great organization. Now, I always said, we always talked about this when Kelsey was calling the protections. How is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it was good in the moment, but I don't know if overall it was good for Hurts' development. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying with it, but I think Jalen's taking a bunch more steps forward. I think Patullo's has a much bigger role in the passing game. Like, he's been here enough years. Remember this as well. Jeff Stoutland's the run game coordinator. He hasn't been anywhere. All right, so he hasn't gone anywhere. He's been here for a long time. So I think you're in a good spot with the running game. That's the least of my worries this year. I think it's more passing.
You just said something interesting. So if Jeff Stoutland is the head of the run game, what exactly did Kellen Moore do last year?
Leave the Sileo, though.
Leave
it the big Sills, though.
Hold on. Who handles the run game?
Well, Stoutland is the run game coordinator.
Okay, well, then what did Kellen Moore do last year? If I'm asking a question about Nick, what was your job? Hey, turn and hand to Barkley? That's like Phil Jackson's job. Hey, Mike, turn and shoot. I mean, what are we?
Yeah, but you said the same thing about Nick. Now are you having?
No, I'm asking a question. What was Kellen Moore's job? If Jeff Stoutland runs the run,
he doesn't call the plays. Jeff Stoutland doesn't call the plays. He's a coordinator in the run game. So he's
What's that mean exactly? He's the coordinator of the run game.
I don't know. He's the run game. What's it called? Run game.
Hey, Kellen, why don't you try this one? Is that what?
No, how about on a Wednesday when they're putting a game plan together and they say, hey, we got Jordan Mailata. Hey, we got Landon Dickerson. We got Mekhi Becton. Let's pull Mekhi Becton around and run him up the left side. Come on, Sileo. Don't play stupid with me, Sileo.
Look at him just reeling in all of the good takes over here with this, trying to make everybody look lovely and happy. I asked the question. What the fuck was the guy's job? If that guy runs the run game, this guy runs the pass game, Kelly got a job in New Orleans. I'm like, well, how did that happen? I don't know. I got to figure it out here. Again, keeping it on the rails. All right, got another one for you.
Let me plug this computer in so I don't die.
But on to me, man. Can't even ask a simple question. Yeah, just see this. Even Chip who hates me.
Kip doesn't hate you.
Though. I mean, what did Kellen do?
I don't know. All He's a head coach.
I got it. Oh, yeah, I know. But the run coordinator, Stoutland.
Well, you're the one who always tells me, "Oh, how did all these guys get hired? You know, everybody got pay raises on offense. Kellen got a pay raise. He got a promotion.
I got it. I mean,
thanks to the greatness of Jalen Hurts. By the way,
actually, thanks to the greatness of Saquon Barkley, he got
no. I heard you talking about Saquon being a star earlier, and
he is. He's on the cover of Madden.
Like, man, that's the second player now that's come to play with Jalen Hurts that turned into a superstar. Saquon Barkley wasn't a superstar in New York.
Jalen Hurts did not make him a superstar.
Jalen's team.
Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata and Jalen Dickerson. Hey, that's right. You know who made me a star? A guy who throws the ball 4 times a game.
Saquon joined Jalen's team. Same thing with A.J. Brown. The guy was the top 30
Jalen Hurts,
in the league in
Gravy Train 2024 off the back of Barkley.
You keep saying Gravy Train, yet everybody keeps getting accolades when they play next to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's right. Accolades, everybody. Yeah, he's such incredible player.
A.J. Brown was second-team All-Pro last year.
Second team All-Pro. Can you imagine if that guy had a decent passer? Can you imagine if he had a decent passer?
No. Hurts is a decent passer. He's not a volume passer.
Oh, I forgot. Wait, what's the line Philly 500 gets upset with? When you bring them out of the box is when we need them. We don't really need them.
So you don't complete 69% of your passes in the NFL with 104 ratings. If you can't be a decent passer.
When I throw 6 passes a game,
no.
Joe Burrow, who throws 56 a game, and he has a higher percentage.
And he won 6 ball games.
A guy who throws the ball 4 times a game is in the same conversation because he has the same pass completion number as a guy who throws the ball 700 times versus a guy who has 300 attempts. Is the same. Come on, man.
You're the beauty pageant quarterback lover. That's what you like. You like beauty pageant.
Actually,
just say you're in it for the beauty pageant.
The reason that I am is because that's how NFL players get paid.
Yeah, but that's not how the Eagles win Super Bowls.
Oh, okay. That's right. They win them with
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Really high. Like when you put the list of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in pro football history, I wonder where Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts' name will be.
So do you value stats more than you value Super Bowl wins?
No, I value being paid and where you are as a player because it's called professional football. You know, like being a professional tile liar or a guy who puts bricks down or a guy who builds buildings. People get paid for that.
Sills, you're something else. I'll tell you what. Now you care more about the paycheck and the stats than you do about winning the football game. Come on, Sileo.
Get this. This guy thinks you get pat on the backs here, go like this. Hey, good old college try. You're doing it for the team. No, I'm doing it for my $25 million that I'm making.
Wait a second. Can I ask you something? Why do you always chirp at A.J. Brown then for wanting the ball if your entire premise is that
I like chirping at A.J. Brown.
The only valid response to that question was what you just said.
Because I like chirping at him. Here. Will we ever see the best of Jordan Davis?
Yes. He's coming. Remember, I understand that it's been Sills, you have to point to there's other instances of this. It took Brandon Graham 4 or 5 years. Now, I'm not saying you got to give him the same leeway. I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility for this player to get to the next level. This is my question on Jordan Davis. All right. It's what does Vic want of him? Because me and you and many people in the chat have aspirations for Jordan Davis to become an every down defensive tackle. All right, that's what we want. We'd like to see him rush the passer a little bit more, become more versatile and willing to be able to play every down football. Do they even want that? Are they even going to ever give him that opportunity? Or do they just want him to operate inside that sandbox of being a run stopper, being great at it, and improving in that area? Because I can't answer this question without knowing that. And we're never going to know that until we see what Vic's goal for him on the field is. So if they want him to be better or want him to be more versatile, I think it's going to be boom or bust. And the other thing I think will tell you this is if they let him walk. If they let him walk, then, then he didn't do what they wanted him to do. If they sign him and they don't give him any more snaps, it's very clear all they ever wanted for him, or at least at this point, was to develop into a better run stopper, the best run stopper he can be.
So everything that you just said makes me answer this way to that. Well, he didn't quite live up to what we thought he was going to do. So what we'll do is we'll make a role for him on our team that we think he can excel at. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think eventually we got to flush that he was taken 13 overall. Because you're right. For a 13 overall pick, it was very, very underwhelming. And that's putting it mildly and being nice about it. But
no, they just did give him 11-2. I mean, it can't feel that bad about
cheap, though, bro. Milton Williams just made 30.
I got it. But still, if we think in this way, that's still a decent. Hey, bro, I mean, he got a nice pay raise there doing that with that extent. With that
13th overall pick, underwhelming. 11-2, best run stopper in football. I like it.
All right, here's another question here.
Do you agree with that or no? Because that's cheap compared to Milton. By the way, did you see Vrabel's already calling out Milton?
I saw it.
Yeah, good. I'm happy. Milton had a good response too. That's what I love about Milton.
Well, it's easy to call somebody out when you're in helmets and shorts. I mean, you're not playing anybody and you're not even in full gear, but he's letting him know what his expectations.
You're setting the culture
Mike
here,
Vrabel.
No?
I love Mike Vrabel. You know what, dude? I'd like Mike Vrabel as the head coach of the Eagles. I mean, I like that. I like that guy.
We got a coach here in Philly that's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years.
Oh, Big Dom.
Big Dom? Mike Vrabel in Philly.
Big Dom would have that. If Big Tom was the head coach of the Eagles, he'd have the same record as Nick.
We don't need Mike Vrabel. We got the greatness of Nick Sirianni.
Where the hell's his contract?
I don't know. I brought that up to John today. Even John didn't know. Even John was like, humming. I don't know.
I bet you they do it the first week of training camp.
That's late, but probably.
Yeah, not really. I mean, look, if you're comfortable with who you are and you're both all good, I mean, my question is, it's not whether they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I want to see how much they do it. I mean, I want to see where they're going here with that. All right, so just Big Sills asking questions. It's what I do. It's what
Big Sills. It's just a football Friday with Big Sills. I love it.
Just a couple questions here. So who's that second corner going to be? So let me go back to the wonderful names everybody in the chat name. Hold on here. I got to bring these names up here so actually I'll tie it in. So to go and get a corner spot starter, safety starter, backup safety, and a backup corner, here are the names you're going to pick from. Keely Ringo, Eli Rick, excuse me, and Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown. I don't know Makuba yet. I haven't seen him play. Put him in there. I don't know anything about him yet at the NFL level. Tristan McCullum and Lewis Klein. These are the dudes you have to have a starting safety, a starting corner, a swing corner, and another safety. Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, sorry, I didn't mean that. Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown, Tristan McCullum, and Lewis Klein. How do you feel about that group battling for a starter's role with safety and corner and 2 backup roles? How do you feel about that group?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, it's not great. It's not great. Keely Ringo. Sileo.
Oh
What
my
if they,
God.
wait. What if they brought in Justin Simmons? How would you feel?
I would feel that they didn't like anybody in the building. Or wait, I'll back that up. I'll back that up. That they feel maybe because, and it wouldn't be fair to me to say that they're maybe not ready yet. If you bring in a guy like Simmons, by the way, you know why? The longer you wait, Howie's doing the same shit he did to Goddard. I know you want to play here, son. I know you want to play. Yeah, I want $7 million. No, we're not there. Okay, I'll do it for $5 million.
Wait, who are you talking about right now?
Justin Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
They're working him down.
Dude, Justin Simmons would be lucky to get $5 million. His best football is behind. That's what I mean. All these people talking about Justin Simmons.
Hey, Slay got 10.5.
I know. Slay was good when he was on the field, though.
Yeah, he was.
Now, he wasn't on the field all that much, which is another problem in and of itself. But, at least he was good when he was out there.
Hit the like button, guys. One last one here.
All right, let's do it.
You think Howie's got another trade left in him?
I was wondering this, man. I saw something floated online about Chris Olave. I'm like, I don't know about him. But it just made me think about that question, what you just asked me. Like, is Howie looking, to maybe make a trade here late in the year? He's done it in the past. Remember last year he traded for Dotson, traded for Bradbury. He's done many of these trades late in the year, even all the way up through training camp. He'll do it if he feels like. Sometimes that's what they need, Sills, is they go out in training camp and they're like, yeah, those guys aren't ready yet, So maybe I'd put it at about a 51% chance. How's that? Right over 50.
For what position?
I think secondary.
Corner or safety? What do you think?
I think you'd only check one off. In other words, I don't think you trade for both. But if you feel better about Makuba and not so much Ringo, you go corner. If you feel okay about Ringo, but you want to give him some extra support and you're not sure that Makuba is going to be ready yet, then you go safety. And that's where I feel like Simmons could come in.
Here's the one thing, though, that I'll say, and I'll ask you one last time this question. They're never going to move Cooper DeJean to corner.
They have to.
Why?
Because he's going to be a beast.
You have an open right now, bro.
Cooper DeJean that corner would give us the best tandem of cornerbacks in the NFL.
Why won't they do that then?
Because they put him in the slot.
That's not an answer, Xander. Xander, if you're telling me you would have the best corners in the NFL and you have the best 2 D tackles combined when you're talking about run stopping, well, what are we doing here? If I've got 2 lockdown corners or 2 safety corners that play, 2 corners that play in 2 high that can do a job for the next 10 years, why aren't you moving them now? Look, Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks is not moving my needle. You're never going to be in a better position right now because I'll tell you this, if you were going to draft next year a position for the Eagles, what would it be? It'd be corner.
Corner, defensive line, offensive line. Probably not offensive line, though.
You got a bigger need at corner.
I'll tell you what else I'm drafting next year. A wide receiver.
Whoa, wait a minute. You starting that thing getting –
No, I know. It's not a slight on any player. I think that's business. That's business. You got Jahan Dotson on with 1 year left on his deal. Now, that's why I think maybe a potential trade could happen there if Howie's like, hey, I'm not picking up they already didn't pick up the option. I don't want him longer. So maybe we can get another younger guy on 2 years with 2 years left. Maybe. I don't see it. But Sills, what does life look like in 2 years from now for Philly?
Okay, the moment
I think it's fair to wonder if all the receivers will be here.
Though, if you draft a wide receiver, you can start Chernobyl meltdown #1 as long as AJ's on that team. That he knows that it's him. They're not getting rid of Devontae, bro. He cut that deal so he could be here for a career. That's a career contract.
I agree.
AJ's contract is like a micro contract. Devontae said, no, I'm going to be here 7 years from now, 5-6 years from now.
They better treat him like that because Devontae Smith gave him a major haircut.
Yeah, because he wants to be here for the next 6 years.
I love Smitty. I hope Smitty's here forever. Yeah, I love Smitty.
Proved me way wrong. He was so good. Let's take a look at some of these supers. We got Jason Cole around the corner here.
Let's do it. Cowboys run the chuck and duck offense from Kyle.
Hey, Kyle, I swear to God, I looked at the, I think there's anywhere from 7 wins to 9 wins. I mean, unless something dramatically happens, I don't know. I just don't see it, man. They can't stop the run. They can't run the ball. They're gonna have to prove to me they can do that. And I even think a team like Green Bay would wax them.
Kyle, thank you, bro. Kimbo's checks in. Boomer is spot on. Caleb's last season at USC was sloppy. Yes, he was.
And then he jumped in the stands and kissed his dad crying and all that shit. I'm like, come on, son. I mean,
we should have known this fruit cup was going to have some issues.
Any guy who paints his fingernails pink and cries to his dad in the sideline, I think there's an issue there.
Prince Swayze says, Bumbleclot one time for me, please. What the heck does Bumbleclot mean?
Got with Prince? I mean, he had such a strong 4 days. And then it's Jalen Hurts can't play 5 games in a row.
Bumbleclot.
You can't do 5 days in a row. You're meat right now.
What does Bumbleclot mean? What is that?
How about dumb shit? I mean, I know what that means, princess. Holy
Bumbleclot. I don't know what that means.
You know what? Look at this guy. Google it. I'm going to pass on that.
I'll AI it. I'll have to put it into AI. And see
hey, Prince, you know what kumquat is? It's a fruit. It's a fruit. It says,
super chat for the hat. It's Bucket Hat Friday, everybody. And I broke out a banger. Boom. Twiz says, you said you bent the knee for Sirianni. Now you're back to being disrespectful. Sills, I can't keep with all the shit you backpedal with.
a Twizwa. What did you said you bent the knee for Sirianni? When did I ever say I bent the knee for Sirianni? I think he's a joke.
Twiz hit you with the bumbleclot.
Big Dom would have a better record. And by the way, I've never seen a coach have to have a behavioral science guy stand next to him on the sidelines so he doesn't start talking shit to the fans.
Twiz hit you with that bumbleclot take.
Who's Twiz? Again, another guy. Who's Twiz?
Prince says I can't breathe. He was crying, laughing so
look
hard.
At that. Yeah, that's a mean one there. See, Prince, you can have Prince 3 L's.
Martin says Prince definitely failed English class. You mean Prince or Sileo?
I didn't go to English.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Somebody took it for me.
It's amazing. Me and you end up on this screen. I don't know how that happened.
Well, no. Let me. One thing on what you'll love this. Did I ever tell you how I passed and got it like a degree in college?
No, I'd love to hear it though.
Okay.
Because I wasn't able to do it. So I'll live through you here for a second.
Okay, so check it out. So I got my BA this way. So I had to take statistics. I couldn't pass it. I took it for 4 freaking years, and I failed. I even went to the freaking thing. Usually, I take these tiered classes where I show up at the syllabus, the blue book, and I'm out. I don't have to worry about that shit, right? So, but I went there. Every teacher calls me. I needed this to pass. So the guy goes, "All right, come see me over at my house." I said, "Yeah, it's at my ranch outside there in Miami." And I went like this. He goes, "Where's shorts?" I went, "Listen here, man. I'm not doing anything dumb here." So this guy comes at me here, and I think he was, I don't know, whatever. So he starts walking towards me, and he goes, I said, "Look at here, man. I really need this grade to play in the Fiesta Bowl." I go like this, but I'm not doing anything stupid. He goes, "Shut the hell up, you asshole. I want you to paint my fence." This guy had a fence that he had 3 horses, and I had to pay, so I paint the outside of it. He goes, "No, you paint the inside." I'm like, "Yeah, shit." I had paint all over me, showing up to practice. Everyone's laughing there. So I painted a guy's fence to pass statistics. So hey.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do, Big Sills. All right?
Hey, I could not pass that song.
No judgment from me, brother. You know what happened to me is I went to college. I had a great first semester. Everything was all fine and dandy. I was, working hard. I had a great GPA. And then I had something happen with my ankle where I had 2 surgeries over Christmas break. After that, Done. I never got to class. I was on that wheelie thing. I went back. I bombed the semester, and then I ultimately never ended up getting to the finish line.
Oh man, I'll tell you, my first year at Maryland, I didn't know grade point averages could go that low. Hey, dude, I showed up at one of the classes. You know that thing you had in there in the books where, it showed you where you could buy more books. Man, the teacher opened the book. Have you ever opened this up? I went, nope. That thing fell out that you get with new books. He's like, this. Yeah. I'm going like, yeah. Oh man, my first year was, oh man, I never.
The stark contrast here between me and you, and then the scholarly John McMullen, and then the scholarly Jason Cole that we have coming up next.
Or listening to Jeff Kerr talk too.
He's a
fake drafts.
He's a Penn Stater. He's not. You can't give him that.
You don't count. He went to Penn State. He don't count that.
I don't know where John went. That's a good question. I got to ask John where the heck he went to school.
Who?
John. No clue where he went. Maybe he didn't go. I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. Who cares?
Hollywood says, then I saw the Bama girls. LOL.
Hey,
Hogan, I saw them from the start. You kidding me?
Let me tell you this. When we went down to Auburn and played Auburn down there at Jordan Hare, and these chicks come walking out of them, I was like this.
Yeah, there's some honeys at Auburn, man.
Man, I'll tell you.
My girlfriend's here. I can't be talking about honeys right now. Come on, man.
Hey, them Auburn girls, man. I'll tell you what, I killed a war eagle too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. All right. No comment, but Sills is not wrong. All right.
Even them Gator chicks, they're all right. They're good, but the only thing they have. So are we good?
I think we're good.
We good?
I think we're pretty good. Wait. Devin says, I stand on Nick. Best asset is getting coffee. Oh, Devin.
Yeah.
Your silly eyes, Devin.
Hey, Devin, and cream.
You are silly eyes.
Two creams, 2 sugars. Hey, Nick, do me a favor. Go park some cars out back.
Wait a second, Sileo.
Bro.
This guy goes to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and you can't give him a smidge of respect?
George Seifert. He's George Seifert. By the way, Seifert won.
Wait. So that must mean that he's got a really good quarterback, right? Who's taking him, who's handling everything.
So you think Jalen Hurts is Steve Young? Joe Montana. Okay.
I think Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, man. What Prince? What? I didn't miss your stupid bumbleclat super chat, Prince. You just weren't here for it, Prince. Yo, Prince, watch the show. Come on, Prince.
Man,
we just did this stupid bumbleclat.
Bro,
Bumbleclat.
Hey, Prince, he gave you so many good kudos this week on Good Takes. Your Friday, you have shit the bed worse than anybody in here I've seen in a long time.
No, you did.
Massive
L. Did you see the other day when Prince tried to come at McMullen and McMullen put him in a blender and Prince just said, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to chirp anymore. That's it. McMullen chewed him up and spit him out.
That's great. All right, Xander. Great stuff as always, my friend. What do you got planned this weekend, Junior?
I got to do that. I got to get this house together because they're renting it out. So they sent me down, you got to do the lawn and everything down in the beautiful Cape May. This is the greatest place on earth. I fully believe that this is.
You get to stay the weekend though there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because my grandmother bought this house in 1978 for $68,000. My grandfather, who was an Italian immigrant, his parents were right off the boat from Italy. He liquidated every credit card he had to buy this home that I sit in today, and we still have it in our family.
Let me tell you what my grandpa did. So my grandpa bought this house on Silverno Road down in Chapin in Connecticut. My aunt could probably help me out a little more here. My pop bought it for $15,000. Bro, they sold that house north of like $600,000.
It's crazy. The property value. The property value on this is insane. I see Sue saying the taxes. See, here's a caveat. Sue, ready? This is a Victorian home that I'm in, Cape May Victorian, which means it's protected by all of those laws. So the property taxes today are still what they were 30 years ago. So they're very cheap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Now, if we sold the
I
house,
thought Jersey was expensive.
oh, Jersey's insane. Insane. The property taxes in New Jersey are ridiculous. But because it hasn't been sold in 40 years. So if we resold it, I think they would reassess it. But yeah, they're still really cheap, man. So now we don't have crazy Jersey taxes either.
Oh my God, Fairfield. Hey, dude, you want to hear something? Where I grew up, believe it or not, Fairfield County, it's one of the richest places in the United States to live. And my folks, I mean, my folks live down in Chapin. They've lived there their whole lives. And I'm just saying, man, Stanford has become it's like the sixth. Get this, Stanford, Connecticut, Xander, is the sixth biggest corporate headquarters in the country. I mean,
wow, it's big.
It's absolutely insane here, man.
Look at Bob. He says, with all that money you save on taxes, buy a new hat and send that pineapple to Bikini Bottom.
I like that hat.
Yo, Bob, you wish you could rock this hat, Bob. You wish you could rock this hat. Same thing. Ready? Let's see what this guy says. Yale nailed the head. Yale hit the nail on the head, as he always does. Ready? He says,
Yale's been missing here for a little bit.
I know. We got him back. He says, home requires a lot of attention. That is the caveat, right? I told you this is a Victorian. The taxes are good. Everything is all good. This sucker requires a lot of work, this home. But we love it, man. It's a blessing, this house.
Let me show this thing. Sills, name me one team who still has their entire D. Bro, I'm not talking about another team. I'm talking about the number one defense in the league. Do you understand when you lose something, Jalen? When you lose something, and it's the best, compared to losing something when you're dog shit, you think there's two different things? Like if the Jets lose somebody, I don't know. That doesn't really work there. If the Eagles lose 4 people, that's not going to matter.
You didn't read his whole comment.
We still have our entire
main core. We still have our entire offense.
Entire offense, which of course you didn't use last year because.
What are you talking about? We had the most historic running season in the history of the NFL.
You didn't use your offense last year to its fullest because you didn't have to. Oh, wait, I forgot. Philly 500 gets pissed at that.
Yo, Prince, what does bumbo clot mean? All right, I don't know what that means, but you got me saying it now. I like the word. It's a good word.
Absolutely something.
Look at Philly 500 in the building. What up, 500?
500's in the building?
500's in the building.
500. Wait a minute. Here's 500. 500 goes. We didn't really need to use Jalen Hurts.
No, 500 hit the nail on the head. You like prom queen quarterbacks. You don't like winners. You like
I like
queen.
No. I like people who get paid.
You like Jalen Hurts is a top paid quarterback. What are you talking about? You like
prom
queen. You like passing stats.
That's how you get paid.
You like prom queen.
That's how you get. It's called professional football.
Give me the winner.
Let me say
this. Give me the winner.
If you took Jalen Hurts off that team, you'd still win 11 games.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
We were 0-1 last year, and he missed 3 quarters.
If I put Brock Purdy on that team, you'd win 11 games.
The only game we lost last year was when Hurts went down in the first quarter.
11 games. I'll tell you this. A.J. Brown would be happy.
Communist.
I've never seen a passing game in my life where you look like the Army midshipman.
Oh, BS.
I mean,
I'm out of here. Let me get out of here before Jason Cole gets here. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I'm feeling a little bit of that. You know that word or that line that Howard Eskin always uses, Sills? He goes, I never had a bad day. All right? That's what I'm feeling right now. I've never had a bad day in my life. So
yeah. Let me see here. Where is Jason here, man?
I don't know. I sent him the email a little bit ago.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
R. Anthony says it's a Jamaican term for a corny, dumb person. So Prince is a bumbo clat.
God, he sucks.
And Sileo is a bumbo clat.
Bumbo clat. Sounds like he's saying something nasty to me. All right, Xander. I appreciate you, Junior.
Hey, bro. I appreciate everybody. Hit that like button for the greatness of Big Sills. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it very much here, guys. Make sure you please hit that like button for us. Jason Cole's going to be right around the corner with us. Let's see here. Prince, man, I mean, let me see here. Hold on here. Let's see here. What'd you say, Prince? Sills loves Herbert. till the playoffs. Dude, I got to tell you one more time. That dude is not in Justin Herbert's league as a player. He's not the player Justin Herbert is. Everyone knows it. I mean, the face of Madden is not Jalen Hurts. The face of Madden is Saquon Barkley. Hey, 500. Barkley is the star of that offense. Not building a run game around the quarterback. Building a run game around the greatness of Saquon Barkley. See here. Sills, you played DT in a 43 at the U, and you're asked to move the nose tackle. Davis played DT in a 43 at UGA and has moved to nose tackle. Not all 4-3 DTs can transition to a 3 technique in a 34. No, it's true. Well, he's bigger than me. He was bigger than me, and he's a way better nose. But hey, I'll tell you this: I was a better 3 technique than him. Bob, he can't play the 3 technique. He gets knocked off the ball. He can't pass rush. I mean, he just can't. We got another guy a little bit later on coming up on the program also that has got a book coming out. Jason's got another book coming out. His last book, Elway. We're putting up the studios here, and we've got that book, and he's got a new one coming out. We're going to do that here in a second here, but I want to talk to Jason here. Let's bring in Jason Cole here, our good friend, our Hall of Fame voter. How you doing, Big Jace?
I'm good, except my hair is like all over the place. I was driving the convertible, man. It was a good deal.
That's a good life then, dog.
Yeah, it is.
Anybody in the NFC, in your opinion, is a threat for the Philadelphia Eagles? In your opinion, 3 teams that you would think are a threat to win the NFC over them? Or do you think they're not the favorite to win it?
I go Detroit, San Francisco, Rams. I think Detroit with a healthy Hutchinson and a healthy running back situation is a serious threat, if not a favorite.
You think San Francisco's bouncing back, right?
Yes, I do. I mean, you just can't be that injured back-to-back years. I mean, they had the roof cave in on them. Now, some of their guys are older, I get it, and that counts against them, but I think they bounce back, and they're in contention. Like, they also, remember, before all the injuries, they had about 3 games that were a flip of the coin that I would argue that, like, they should have won those games if they had executed better. That would have made them more competitive during the season.
Jason, who's a better quarterback in your eyes, Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts can do more things. Brock Purdy's a little bit more accurate and probably a quicker decision maker. Given the team that you have around, like, would Brock Purdy if you put Brock Purdy in the Philly offense, are they better or not?
I think I don't know, because he's so important in the run game with Barkley. I mean,
that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I hesitate. I always rather have a quarterback who's a better decision maker and more accurate. So I lean towards Purdy from that perspective. But the way you build your offense in Philly is a little bit different. So he has an X factor there, and he allows Barkley. You know, it's the whole thing. Like, remember when Vince Young and Chris Johnson were playing together, and when Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch were at their best early in Russell Wilson's career? People were like, "Oh, you know, this guy's better than this guy, and this guy does that, and he's more important." Yeah, sort of, but they actually play off of each other. Like, Marshawn Lynch had his best years when he was next to Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson was a threat that the defense had to account for. Same thing was true of Chris Johnson has 2,000-yard year next to Vince Young because Vince Young had to be accounted for. So when you do that with the defense, force that with the defense, you change the way the defense plays. So I'm going to say that I'd rather have Jalen in the Philly offense, but it's close. It's pretty reasonably close.
See, I think the same thing. I think the way that they're going about running the football in Philadelphia, Jalen probably fits that a little bit better. But Brock Purdy, don't you think is more interchangeable with other teams around the league? Because if you don't have that dynamic of a running back there, you're not winning from the pocket with that guy. You're just not on a consistent basis. But with Purdy, you can build the pocket and you can build the passing offense way better than you could anywhere else. If you were to start up again, you're not building an offense around Jalen that way.
Your traditional team would rather have a guy like Purdy.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that he's a great quarterback. Like don't mistake this. Like I think he's a very good player who has his limitations physically because he's just not that overwhelming physically, right? And he can be and you can get into his face a little bit and distract him. But when you have good solid talent around him, and even when you have great talent, he's even better. But he's just, he is, like, his brain works so fast and his release is so good that he makes up for a lot of things that he doesn't have physically. The fact that he's not a big guy, the fact that he's, doesn't have the greatest arm in the world. Like, he's terrific in those ways.
I want to ask you this because I got an email from Rich McKay. Next week are the owners' meetings, and there's a proposal on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the playoffs. And I want to read this to what Rich said. Under the Lions' proposal, who proposed this, the 7 teams in each conference would still consist of 4 division champions and 3 wild card teams. However, what's being proposed, Sills, is that the big change is that the teams would be seeded by who has the best record. Under this proposal, the wild card would be seated ahead of a division winner if the wild card team has a better record. That means that a wild card team
in the first, is that in the first round or just in the second round?
Could be as high as 2 under the current format. The 4 division winners, this is throughout the entire playoffs. So this is what it would look like. Last year it was Lions 1 15-2, Eagles 2 at 14-3, Buccaneers 3 at 10-7, Rams at 10-7, 4 the division winners. Then the 3 wild cards were Vikings at 14-3, Commanders at 12-5, Packers at 11-6. Under the new proposal, it would look like this: Lions would still be the 1 at 15-2. The Eagles would be second at 14-3. The Vikings would be third at 14-3 instead of down there in the 5 hole. And you would have the Commanders instead of the 7th hole would be 4th at 12-5. Packers would be 5th. And then the 2 division winners, the Bucs and Rams, would be at 6-7. Are you a fan of this?
No.
Why?
Because sometimes you get distorted divisions where 2 teams are, in a serious rebuild, trying to work through some things, or you have a team that faces another. Your out of conference play is against a division that can be very weak, and you build up a lot of wins that way. I think that I'm okay with it for the second round because you prove something, but I think as a division winner. Now, I would say this: I'm a fan of only 2 divisions instead of 4.
Huh.
And that changes things a little bit, and that sort of takes care of your reseeding that way. But I think that there's a value to winning your division, and for the first round.
So why don't you do this though, Jason? Why don't you just have the 7 best teams in the NFC and the 7 best teams in the AFC? And you combine it with 1, and you have like a normal round robin tournament, like you do at the NCAA tournament. You have the number 1 seed, and then you combine them, and you could play AFC, NFC would be in the first round. Why not go that way? If you want to make it so that you're going to get the best football teams in the postseason. Why don't you get the 14 best teams in football and put them that way and have 1 versus 14?
I think there's some history and some value to the AFC, NFC. I think it's some tradition that you want to maintain, and that's okay. That doesn't bother me too much. I think there's a grouping, and plus, still the majority of your games are going to be against AFC opponents, so you should have to get your way through the AFC. And I know that there's some times where the AFC or the NFC has more teams, more good teams,
Yeah.
And that happens occasionally. I just say deal with it. Like, I know the AFC has the vast majority of the best quarterbacks, right? So they have the best team essentially. So would you rather see a Super Bowl with Baltimore against Kansas City or Buffalo against Kansas City right now? Maybe, but I still think that I'd like to stick with a little bit of tradition when, again, you have to play, essentially 13 or 17 games against conference opponents. That changes how I view it.
So you're looking, you want to keep the tradition, because to me, I want the 14 best teams in the playoffs, whatever that looks like. I mean, like you said, you play AFC, NFC anyway throughout the schedule. I mean, why not do that in the postseason as well?
You play 4 games, against the opposite conference. It's not, if you evened it out so that you rotated, an equal number of conference games, maybe. But I think, you play the majority of your conference games, you should have to get your way out of that conference first before you get to the Super Bowl. So I would hang with that. And I'm sure there are some people who mathematically would say, no, it really should be this way. There's a certain element of tradition that I'm willing to stick with on this one.
Couple last ones here for you. The tush push next week, do you think it's modified where you can't push a player from behind with another player and they stop the scrum? Do you think it's completely outlawed? Or do you think, again, they're not going to outlaw it, Jace, but like the leverage play you can't leverage jumping over on a field goal or on an extra point, something like that. Do you think they add some sort of caveat to that next week?
I think they do. I just have no idea what it really looks like. I mean, the one play that, again, I'm the most concerned about, and it's more than the tush push. The tush push is a problem. I mean, Jason Kelsey will tell you he hates the play, right? I'm more concerned about the downfield block the help of a runner downfield against smaller defenders. And I know it's a hustle play, but if it's a hustle play to block, is different than a hustle play to push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's, that's just, you're putting a defender in a really, really rough situation where he can get hurt by allowing push downfield at full speed, one-on-one. At the line of scrimmage, like at a certain point, like football is still got to be football, and this is okay. As long as you're lining up with the right number of guys on the line and off the line, I think you're all right with allowing the tush push. I just don't know. I don't know how you really change it and keep the game football.
I got it. Finally here. Bill Belichick is going to be eligible for, I guess coaches have different bylaws on them when it comes to Hall of Fame.
1 year out. He's eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Is he a first ballot?
In my mind, yes.
You think that stuff with the Deflategate and Spygate and all that, do you think that's going to be a debate in the meeting with you 50 guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a huge debate.
You think this vote will be close?
Yes, I think it'll be close, but that's just a guess. I haven't gone around to talk to anybody and say, hey, what about Belichick? I know one person, actually 2 people, who said, I'm troubled by Belichick. What's going to happen here? And I've also got a number of people who are like, well, isn't he going to come back to coach in the NFL in a year or two? Some people are down on him that way.
Yeah.
I'm less concerned about that. The rules are what the rules are. I just think he's, What are
I'm
we
with you.
What are we talking about? Like,
I know.
you can argue the cheating. I mean, do we want to go back to talk about the cheating that was done by guys like George Halas and all the
Al
other
Davis.
Al Davis? I mean, Al Davis is the king of the cheaters. I
Al
mean,
Davis used to put water on the sprinklers, turn the sprinklers on for the Chargers.
Ever did. I mean, he spied like crazy. He used to pretend to hire guys from other teams. He'd tell them, "I got a job for you. I got a job for you." And then he would go and he would talk to them on the field. But the greatest thing about it is he would talk to them back to back. In other words, he was facing one direction, the other guy's facing the other direction, and they're talking to each other. So it doesn't look like they're having a conversation, but they're having a conversation. Al was on the phone with everybody trying to get information on everybody in the league and what they were trying to do.
I love the man, and I'm going to tell you what he used to do with me. So when I was doing Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Bucs were the flagship, and I was down there, and I would broadcast live from the facility. This was when John Cruden and, of course, Bruce Allen left them. Dan, Coach Davis, okay, Fudgy. Fudgy was his assistant, and Fudgy was his number one.
Right.
Hey, what's going on there with Ricky Dudley? What's going on with Charlie Gardner? What are those guys? And I'm going like,
Al, I work for the team, basically. What are you doing?
I'm going like, Al, what do you mean? What's going on with these guys here? I mean, okay, final question for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has ever happened. Could you potentially see Rivers, Breeze, and Eli all going into the Hall of Fame next year?
No.
You won't put 3 quarterbacks on a ballot.
It's too hard. I didn't say they're not going to put them on the ballot. They'll probably put them on the final 15. Rivers might be tough to get into Eli's going to get back into the 15. Breeze will get into the 15. Rivers will be a tougher case. He may get in the 15. He deserves to get in the 15. But I can't see all 3 of them going in the same year. I just don't. Like Breeze is going to. But the way that the system works, it's really hard to get more than 4 guys in out of the 15.
So you don't even think potentially there could be 2 quarterbacks between
Breeze
and Eli?
Breeze is the only one that, like he walks in.
So if Breeze goes in, you think that makes it harder on Eli?
Yeah. Standard's harder.
Shit, I'm picking Breeze over Eli.
Of course. That's why Breeze goes in.
That guy could be a 3rd ballot.
Bob Greasy waited 7.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Right. I mean, back to back and an undefeated team. So the quarterback of the only undefeated team in the league.
3 in a row they went, actually.
He went to 3 Super Bowls in a row. He won 2 of them. One of them are undefeated. He came back during the playoffs and played hero to lead him back against Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game. It took him 7. I might have taken him 8 years to get in.
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, this thing about Eli. Look, do I think he's going to get in the Hall of Fame someday? Yes. Do I think the rules have to change to where we get back to 5 guys per year? Because 5 guys in the modern era should get in. Last year, the fact that only 3 got in should really worry some people, right?
Yeah.
And it makes it harder for guys like Eli and Rivers to get in because of that. So yeah, I got real concerns. But Breeze is a no-brainer, like just a no-brainer.
Let me ask you about your book, man.
Here it is. Here we go. Right there. Right.
Paralyzed to Power with Robert Paylor. Tell me about it, man.
Paylor. So Robert Paylor is a former Cal rugby player. He's about 6'4", 230 pounds. He played in the national championship game. They won the game, but in the first 5 minutes of the game, one of the guys he played against grabbed him around the neck and drove him into the dirt, snapped his neck. He's paralyzed. He's become a motivational speaker. And hold on one sec here. He's one of the great stories I've ever written about. He's a fantastic human being who, despite the fact that he's gone from being a virile 6'5", 230-pound man playing a tough guy sport, because you know what rugby's about.
Absolutely, my daughter plays it.
No pads. Like this is a macho dude, man. to a guy who's been sitting in a wheelchair for the last 8 years, right? And he's become a motivational speaker. His story is fabulous. So
Send me I'm
paralyzed.
going to give that to my kid.
It's a fantastic book, and we
Have
wrote
those
it.
guys send me one, Jason. I want to.
I'll get you one. Don't worry, we'll get. But he is an absolutely amazing story, uplifting. If you're having a bad day, you got to read. You got to read his book. You got to look at him on social media, whether it's Facebook or whether it's on his
All right.
his Twitter account. But Robert Paler is a guy with an amazing mind. I mean, he used to have an amazing athletic body that he could do some tough guy stuff with, right? And he was a national champion. And then it all changed in a matter of seconds, and he's rebuilt his life. And he's married now. He's doing fabulous things. And again, great motivational speaker. If you ever get a chance to listen to him.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So many that's a great story, and absolutely. I mean, you know, the Jets D lineman, I remember we knew him and he ended up getting paralyzed. I'll tell you what, man, it changes a life. And you know, these guys become so much more, you know, there's a better perspective on life when you go through something like that, because the journey gets longer, you know.
Yep.
And you just have a better understanding of environment around you. So Jason, we love you, man, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you again. Looks like his phone died. So we appreciate Jason Cole for doing that. Thank you again, Jace. Appreciate you, man. So we will do that. One thing I want to do here, I want to take a look at that because I proposed something to you guys. 500, are you still in here? I proposed this to you. If they're going to change the format, let me just double check. Let me just say goodbye. Let's say goodbye to Jason here, Xander. We're going to say goodbye. Jace, thanks so much, man.
Absolutely, my man.
You get it on Amazon, right? They could buy it on Amazon?
You get the book on Amazon. That's where you go and get it. Robert Paylor, Paylor. Great story.
Thank you, brother. Have a great weekend.
I'll see you.
Thank you, Jace. You got it. That is Jason Cole. Appreciate that very much. Thanks for him checking back in. So here's what I'm proposing. I don't know if I like that new format. So here's what I'm proposing. Why not just have the best 14 teams? This is what the playoffs would look like under my proposal. They want to do it by record. Well, let's do it all by record then. Here would be the playoffs under 500. You still in here? Here would be my playoffs for 2025 or 24. We'll go by who had the best record in football. That was the Lions. So the Lions were 15-2. Detroit 15-2. The second best was the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So we'll put Philly in the 2 hole. 14-3. Minnesota, because they didn't win their division, would be 3rd at 14-3. My 4th team would be a 13-win team, which would be the Buffalo Bills at 13-3. Your 5th would be the Baltimore Ravens, 12-5. And the Washington Commanders at 12-5. 11 we're down to. That would be the LA Chargers and the Green Bay Packers. Now we're down to 10. That would be the Houston Texans and Denver Broncos. The Tampa Bay Bucks. The LA Rams. Seattle Seahawks. A 1-9 win team would be the Cincinnati Bengals. That would be your playoffs. Here under my proposal, screw the fact that it's NFC, AFC. I want the best teams in the NFL to play in the playoffs. So here's what it would be. You give Detroit and the Eagles, you give them a bye because they have the two best records. You would have Minnesota taking on Cincinnati. You would have Buffalo versus Seattle. You would have Baltimore versus the Rams. You would have Washington versus Tampa Bay. You would have the Chargers versus Denver. And you would have the Green Bay Packers versus the Houston Texans. That would be your opening round games. You'd have Minnesota versus Cincinnati, Buffalo versus Seattle, Baltimore versus the Rams, Washington, Tampa Bay, the Chargers versus Denver. Oh, the Chiefs. My bad. Thanks, senor. The Chiefs at 15-2, right. That's right. They were 15-2 too. So the Eagles would have to play. That's right. Thank you, guys. It'd be Detroit. It'd be KC. It would be the Eagles, Philly. It'd be Minnesota. It would be Buffalo. That means Cincinnati's out. Baltimore, Washington, the Chargers, Houston, Denver, Tampa Bay, the Rams, Seattle. So here's how you would go. Detroit and Kansas City would get the bye. Philadelphia would play Cincinnati. Cincinnati still gets, you would have to play Cincinnati in the opener. Wow. How about doing the best records? Right? I mean, why not do the best records? Doesn't that make more sense? A lot of good NFC teams and AFC teams don't play each other very often, so making it this way will result in those teams playing more. And get this, you don't have a layup at the end of the year anymore where you could just tank and not have to play and go, well, we're going to get another bye here. Hey, and by the way, isn't this best for the fans? You buy a season ticket package, okay? You buy a season ticket package. The last game of the year, they've got scrubs in there, and they're playing practice squad guys. That's not what I'm paying for. You know, preseason sucks as it is. You're going to make another preseason game, the final game of the regular season, like the Giants and Eagle game? Why do I have to pay for that? You're putting a lesser product out there. See, to me, that's fan-friendly. My way's fan-friendly. I mean, because that means in the playoffs, you're getting the best teams. Whether you have more teams in the NFC, so what? That's the advantage of being a good ball team. There you go. Not a shocker. Let me see that here. I mean, look at my boy. Look at my boy. Holy cow here. Hold on here. Let me take a look at this. Holy cow. That is awesome. Whoa. Holy cow. This guy just got $53 million. They made sure he made more money than that guy in Philly. Look at that, man. Let me get some of the this is going to come down from the agent, so I'm not sure I trust it. Hold on here. Let me take a look at this. Let's take a look at this here. Surely there's going to... Holy cow. He just got $265 million. Brock Purdy, 265, $53 million per. By the way, I'm a little bit shocked that they didn't give him closer to 60. Man. Hey, get this. Here was a guy that was the last player taken in the NFL draft, and he just got paid $53 million annually. The numbers are not coming out yet on what he just got. The numbers are not coming out yet. Hold on here for a second. Let's see if I can get it. Let me ask my friend here at Players Association. Here it is. Agreed to terms on a 5-year, $265 million contract. Purdy gets $180 in guarantees, including $165 million in the first 3 years of the deal that runs through 2030. Brock Purdy, 5 years, $265 million. Holy cow. 7th round pick. He is now the highest paid quarterback. He's not the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, is he? So Mr. Irrelevant turns around now and gets a $265 million deal. Holy cow. Hey, by the way, what were you guys talking to me about? Stats? What are you talking about? Once again, validation. You don't get paid on wins, my friends. You get paid on ability. And you get paid on stats, Sue. Stats. Stats. Hey, by the way, where's Hurts' contract redone? Where were they redoing his deal? You imagine being the last player picked in the NFL draft, and now you're one of the highest paid guys in the entire league. Get this. What do you mean, my logic? That's facts. Seals, by your logic, that means that the best quarterback in the league, right? No, I didn't say that. I said you're paid on stats. You're arguing point. Okay, you're always arguing about money. He got paid because of what? He never won a Super Bowl. Nobody gets paid on wins. Here, let's take a look at this. I pointed this out to you before. Almost every quarterback that's paid in the top 10, okay, all has a losing record the postseason. What's your point there? How does your point? Because, hey, look, Jalen is the number one winner in the NFC. You think the Eagles would pay him $65 million a year? Let's see it. I don't believe that. I don't believe they'll pay that guy for having the 30th ranked passing offense. They'll never pay him that. Never happen. Why? He doesn't utilize the passing game. Barkley was the mail carrier last year. It wasn't him. How can you pay a guy the most money at quarterback when the guy that started the team a year ago was the running back? Brock Purdy. Big Sil's been trying to tell you guys this. Been trying to tell you. How many times was Tom Brady the top paid quarterback? Never. They never paid him the top paid. Because many people never thought Brady was the best quarterback in the league, including the Patriots. No, he never was until he got to Tampa. Everyone thought Manning and Rodgers were better. Yeah, even though he won more. That answers your question. Bullshit, hold on. Bullshit, that's what happened. Brady was never paid. New England never paid him the highest. And everybody always assumes it was Brady's choice to take less money. That wasn't true. New England never offered him. Hurts is now out of the top 10, the highest paid quarterbacks. You know that? The Super Bowl MVP is now out of the top 10 highest paid guys. Look at that number. Holy cow. You knew they were going to pay him, but you didn't know they were going to pay him like this. This is great, man. It's good news. This is good news for all quarterbacks, actually, because the numbers keep just going through the roof here. That means, in my opinion, I think Brandon Ayuk has got to be out of there. And I just wonder what this is going to mean again towards some of the other players on that team here. Man, that is a ton of money. Breaking news. Brock Purdy agrees to terms, 5 years, $265 million. $181 million in guaranteed contracts. Dude, what a great moment for a guy who was the last player taken in an NFL draft. Let me say this to you, too. If you're Shedeur Sanders, you should take a look at this here, and you should look at it and go, this could be me if I handle my business right. Look at the guarantees. Wow. That's a really good deal. And Purdy could have demanded more, in my opinion. Could have demanded more. They traded Ayuk? No. I think they will trade Ayuk. That's what I'm saying. For what? Told you he's a better pass. Like you said, I agree with Jason. Better passer. No more for Fred. Hey, Martin, that's not a terrible take. You always say winning the Super Bowl, that's all that matters, except when it comes to Hurts. No. I think winning Super Bowls is important to one's resume and how you see a guy. I told you I'd never put Jalen Hurts out of my top 5. I mean, I can't take him out of my top 5. Brock Purdy's not in my top 5. Okay, just so you know. Brock Purdy's not a top 5 quarterback for me. I told you, though, if I were going to hang my top 10 quarterbacks right now, this is a great day for him. Let me see here. My top 10 quarterbacks. Allen, Burrow. I think Burrow's the best passer in the pocket of any quarterback in the league. Mahomes. I'm going to put Jaden Daniels, number 4. Hurts 5. Lamar 6. 7. Herbert. 8. Stafford. 9. Stroud. 10. Purdy. Would be my top 10. Josh Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Hurts, Lamar, Herbert 7, Stafford 8, Stroud 9, Purdy 10. Yeah. Sounds about right. 53 million. I mean, look, the highest paid, now that he's making 53, highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Let's take a look at this. Highest paid QBs in the NFL. Now that he's making, what is it, 53 million? Where does he fit in here? Quarterbacks. Hurts is bumped, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jalen gets bumped. Because Prescott's number 1. Okay, so it goes. It's Prescott 1 at 60. Burrow and Allen are tied. Burrow and Allen are tied for second at 55. And Love and Lawrence. Lawrence and Love are at 55. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here's the next guy up is Tua. Tua makes more than Hurts at 53. Golf makes it too at 53. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's 53. Lamar is at 52. And Purdy is at now 53. There's your top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Your top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL are Dak, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Love, Tagovailoa, Golf, Purdy, Herbert, and Lamar Jackson. Hurts is now 11th. I'll tell you this. What did he didn't he just sign that thing 2 years ago? Holy shit, look at the market for the NFL, man. Winers had to sell 6% of the franchise for Purdy. I saw that. I saw that. Hey. Did Jalen Hurts sign that contract 2 years ago? Is that right? Two off seasons ago? Holy cow, is that market blown up? Dude, Jalen Hurts signed it, what was it, 51 million 2 years ago? Is that right? Jalen signed that contract, making 51 million 2 years ago. 3 years later, it's gone up to 60 million as the highest paid guy. And Dak's the highest paid guy. That is insanity. Oh, my Lord. That'd be great. I mean, hey, dude, Fred Warner, I don't know where are they getting that from? Dude, they're going to make either Warner or Bosa goes. Now you see why they got rid of Debo. And Trent Williams will be gone next. I'll bet you anything. Hurts' contract is the oldest out of the top 10 quarterbacks you just named. Dude, get this, but wait a minute. Who's the one guy that I forgot too? You guys mentioned Kansas City? Shit, Mahomes. He's making $45 million. Now, he's got a payout that's really weird. Where like he's got a $450 million contract. Remember? Jalen has a $255 million contract. Mahomes has a $455 million contract. He signed for $500 million. $181 million in guaranteed money is insane. Absolutely. So you got to remember that because his payout is really weird compared to the rest of the quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is only 30 years old, and he signed a $400. It's the biggest valued contract of any quarterback. Josh Allen got a $331, and you could void it. When can you void Jalen's contract? 2029. He's here forever. He's here forever. Wow. Dude, it's a great take. How much are you going to pay Jaden Daniels? When he's got another year, and I believe another year, right? In the third year, I think after that, he could play. I think maybe next offseason. Holy cow. You're going to pay that guy $65 million. Easily. Here, when the contracts are coming up. Dak sits the top 60. If you're Joe Burrow, Cincinnati's not going to redo that deal. You're at $55 million. Allen just had it redone. Love is overpaid. Lawrence is overpaid. Tua is overpaid. Golf is about right. Herbert, 52.5. I feel overpaid, but I know he's good. $52 million for Lamar, I'm good. Shit, $51 million is a steal for Jalen. 46 seems overpaid for Kyler Murray. Watson is the biggest disaster on this page at 46. Kirk Cousins at $45 million is a joke. Mahomes' contract is a joke, but I get the $450. Baker Mayfield's is a steal. Dude, Trevor Lawrence getting $55 million. $4 more million. Dude, if that guy had 5 cents more than Hurts is funny. I don't get it. I mean, we'll see what happens. Contracts that I'm going to be interested on are going to be Jalen Hurts'. What will the Eagles pay that guy $65 million when he's not near the talent of those other guys? However, He is perfect for what they're doing. And for the record, I'll say this one more time. If I put Jalen Hurts in Minnesota, they'd win a freaking boatload of games. If I put Jalen Hurts, like I said, in Detroit, they would win a boatload of games because of the way the team's set up. If he was in Baltimore, I think they'd win a boatload of games. Mahomes is built to last. Take away his athletics, he's still elite. Only QB I would give a blank check. JD3, that's a great take. Jimmy Johnson said he's the only guy he's ever seen that's not tradable. Hey, Xander, does Leon have a super chat that we missed? If we did, I apologize. Leon, you're always good, brother. We appreciate you more than you know here, too, so thank you. Pretty going to be thrown to guys like me, Bumper, A-Flex, and M. Reyes. They got no cap. Sign me for $75K. I'll be ready to rock and roll, and I'll be ready to play. They are in a pretty tough situation, and they did not do a very good job at managing that salary cap. But that is an absolute true thing. All right. Before Philly Godfather comes aboard, let's do this. Our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in the United States of America. They are number one because why? They win. Saving clients like a family here in Pennsylvania. They got them $30 million when an insurance company came in and wanted to only give them $650K. Look, folks, if you're ever injured, make sure you check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan. You know why? Because they win. Check them out at forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
Eagles. Eagles.
Woo, man! Brock Purdy, $53 million per year, $265 and $181 million in guarantees. Holy bejesus. Talk about making it happen. The last player in the draft, he ends up getting paid $53 million, knocking, believe it or not, Jalen Hurts out of the top 10 highest paid guys. All right. So Jason talked about his book. I'll tell you this, man. It seems that the Philly Godfather, everything he touches turns to gold. Everything. And I do mean everything. Okay? So this dude has gone from, get this, having in his head, he's buried up to his neck in sand. Okay? A guy has a golf club getting ready to tee off like he's over at Augusta National. Somehow he talks his ass out of that. I mean, you got to give him kudos for that. I mean, you think Trump's a good negotiator? How'd you like to be up to your neck in sand and you got to talk yourself and you got no way of using your hands and you got to talk your ass out of that? Okay? Then he turns around now and he makes people money. Now he's turned around and he's made his book one of the top-selling books on Amazon. And let's get to our friend. The legendary Philly Godfather joins us now here with Big Sales. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm shocked. I didn't expect the book to take off like that on Amazon. We released it about, 7-8 days ago. Next thing you know, it was number one on new releases and sales. And I don't know whether it's the book cover, whether it's my following, but, man, it's kind of humbling a little bit. But hey, I've done a lot of crazy things in my life, and I've defied the odds my entire life. And again, after sixth grade, I really didn't go to school. I dropped out in ninth grade. If you asked me to write a paragraph 10 years ago, I was like, what are you talking? It doesn't make sense. And now I wrote the entire book. And they say great things don't come easy. And this book took 2 years to write. Originally, I hired a ghostwriter to write the book. And he interviewed me for like 150 hours. And then when he gave us the finished product, it was 250 pages of well-written gibberish. And he didn't even use my real stories. So we had a big fight with him, and it was a mess. And then I was stuck because everyone's expecting my book. So I had to go in and I had to write every story. I salvaged about 10% of what he wrote, but 90% of the book now out there, I wrote the entire thing. So, it's been I learned a lot too along the way. So it's been fun.
How about this? Don't you feel that compelling sells? No matter what it is. I mean, if you have a compelling story, people want to hear it, because if I can relate to you in some way with a struggle, like you just were talking, I mean, isn't it funny now how all of a sudden I'm sure your phone is ringing off the hook now, and before you couldn't get anybody to even open the damn thing to give you an opportunity to even look at it, but there was your conviction the whole time going like this. But isn't that kind of the story of your life, that, your conviction, you don't have to be a superstar brain surgeon to have conviction, as long as that conviction never sells out and you never say no? Isn't that the most important characteristic in a character part of you that you can have?
Yeah,
that you can believe in yourself.
You can never surrender, and there's always time to rewrite your story, no matter how much you screwed up and no matter how bad things are. Man, you just got to keep swinging, and you got to keep moving, and you got to believe in yourself. You can believe in your conviction. My family is big to me, my faith. I said the same prayer every day when I was locked up in that maximum security prison down in Yuma, 23-hour lockdown with mass murderers and killers. And the prayer was basically, God, I don't even know if that's your name. I don't even know if you're religious. I'm smart enough to know that I'll never figure out how it works, but I'm also smart enough to know it's working. So if you get me out of here, I'll never doubt you again, And you can call it a coincidence. You can call it blind luck. But the fact remains that my prayers were answered. And I overturned my conviction, and I came home. And I went back to the grind, went back to business. And amazingly, I kept my family together. There's a statistic that says anyone incarcerated for 2 years or more ends up divorced 99.9% of the time. And me and my wife stuck together now for 32 years. And we just keep defying the odds. There's a love story there. My parents came over from Greece in 1969. The struggles. My dad was a dishwasher. He worked 90 hours a week, making $1 an hour. And I remember when he used to cut the milk, gallon of water, and the sacrifices that he made to give us a better life. And for me to fail would be a slap in his face. And I did everything I could. And his work ethic was born. I mean, the guy worked 16 hours a day. And his motto was, if you work 40 hours a week and it's not enough. Now, the key words are, it's not enough. If you work 40 hours a week and it's not enough, you work 60. If that's not enough, you work 80. If that's not enough, you work 100. And if that's not enough, you don't sleep, because failure isn't an option and you got to work your ass off. And I took that and I incorporated it into my life. And it's been a hell of a ride, Dan. Hell of a ride.
The title of the book is Booked. What was the most scariest part of that journey for you? I mean, where were you more frightened of? That you would lose your family? That you would lose your life? You've pretty much had all the emotions in the book. That, from what I understand, is that you go from losing love, losing wealth, losing your life. I mean, kind of you touched all and crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's there with this, no?
Yeah, well, I mean, I talk about the one time when they tried to kill me, the Philly mob, but there was numerous times. There was 3 different times they tried to kill me. And then when you get convicted, it really starts to set in. I went to trial. I fought for my freedom, and I lost. And at that point, you start going into a rabbit hole. Man, I might not get out of here for another 10 years. When I do get out, my finances will be completely depleted. I'll be dead broke. My wife will probably get remarried, divorce me. My kids will hate me because I just missed the last 10 years of their lives, the most important years. So your brain starts going down that rabbit hole, and you got to stay strong. And what I did was I just started working out like crazy. So those thoughts, and I kept fighting. And there's a part in the book where I almost surrendered. I lost a trial, and I was going down that rabbit hole mentally. And I would call my mom too up sometimes. So I would call my mom up, and my brother just happened to be there that day. And he goes to me, "What about an appeal?" And I said, "Mike, I just lost a trial. I got no shot with an appeal." I said, "I lost millions of dollars." I said, "I'm just going to do my time." He goes, "Are you nuts? You're the luckiest guy I know. I seen you win betting sports. I seen you down AC, betting blackjack." Now, he didn't know I was a professional sports bettor or that we counted cards down AC. And I'm like, "Mike, you know what the odds are of overturning a conviction? This ain't sports. This ain't blackjack. Yeah. This is real, man." And he goes, "Did Dad give a shit about the odds when he came over here with $200 in his pocket and a bunch of kids?" He goes, you have to appeal." I said, "Mike, I just lost all that money, man." He goes, "It doesn't matter." He goes, "You have to appeal." And at that point, I'm like, "All right, just contact, my buddy Kevin and get us an appeal lawyer." And I just hung up, like thinking nothing of it. And if he wasn't there that day, I would have never filed that appeal. Because I was, I gave up. I'm like, I'm just going to do my time, whatever it is, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 20 years. And he lit that fire again. And I had hope, and we filed the appeal. And, when you're in prison, you're talking to people. They're like, yeah. No one ever wins their appeal. Well, guess what? 2 years later, I overturned my conviction. And I was exonerated of all charges. I'm not saying I was an angel. But with the case that they had 400 pages of discovery. And that's why I fought the case, because they never caught me with any marijuana, large amounts of money. There was never no wiretaps, no phone taps, no video surveillance. There was nothing. It was just hearsay. And they had this Mexican who was an illegal alien, and they kept him in the country just to testify against me, or they were going to deport him. And eventually, they lied on the stand. And I'm not saying, cops, there's so many heroes that are police officers, and I respect their job. But at trial, the cops that I had that testified, they lied their asses off because they had no evidence. And it was all about convicting me. And in the end, it blew up in their face. We had it overturned. And I beat the state of Arizona, which isn't easy,
Did you ever think of shutting it down? And did you ever think of just like, because you know why? I ask you this because, because your passion and your love of your family and everything, just for me, because sometimes for me, my greatest asset is my passion, but sometimes my worst asset is my passion, and it can send me in different emotional places sometimes. And so, especially when you're something like that, did you ever in your entire life go like this? That's it, man. I'm done here. I'm not going on.
I thought about it numerous times. The problem is there was so much money coming in. And once you're there, it's hard to turn back. We're talking about big money. We're talking about millions of dollars a month. And I always bet sports. And I always made a lot of money betting sports, but this was a different kind of animal. And to be honest, I owned beer distributors, I owned bars, marijuana business back then. I never felt bad about selling pot. I felt worse about selling.
I don't think you should.
Yeah, I felt worse about selling beer and liquor to people because I had people come in every day and buy a case of beer. And I saw the way they acted. And I tell people all the time, what happens when you get drunk? You get in a fight, you get in your car, you drive 100 miles an hour, you go home, you fight with your wife. You might kill someone on the way home. You might kill yourself. Next day, you got more issues.
Hey, you know what? I've never seen an angry pothead. I've only seen an angry drunk.
Yeah, and when you smoke a joint, what happens? You get in your car, you drive real slow. You get home, you make some ice cream or some cake, you make love to your wife. And the next day, you got rid of some stress. Now, you tell me which is worse, even though at the time, pot was illegal, and now it's legal almost everywhere. So I never had any reservations about it. I always knew there was medicinal purposes with it. Because of the way you relaxed, you got rid of stress. But again, it was illegal. And, you get caught in the matrix and you start making crazy amounts of money, and then you start dreaming, and you get caught up in the moment. And next thing you know, you're in the jungles of Mexico with a drug cartel, and you're like, what the hell am I doing here? Yeah. And that's how, to answer your question, numerous times I thought about stopping, but, you just keep rolling. Plus, when I got locked up, I had a beer distributor, a bar, restaurant. I had a construction company. I had 66 people working for me legally and another 100 on the street. I employed 166 people.
No wonder the mob didn't like you.
They hated me. There's so many stories. There's some of them I can't tell. And the real juicy ones I really can't tell. And there's one about a hockey player, an NHL hockey player, that was taking action and didn't want to pay me, and I beat him for like $40,000. I'll tell you that privately one day.
Yeah, okay, I'd like to know that one.
But he eventually paid. But yeah, back then the mob was strong.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays it's different.
It's not the same.
It's not what it was,
No.
And they want a piece of everything. If you're making money, they're trying to extort you. They're trying to find out who you are. And the whole time they used to think I was Italian. So they were looking for some Italian guy. And in the end, they're like, it's the damn Greek who's bringing all the work.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. Hey, man, make sure you guys – hey, do I get a copy of this thing?
Yeah,
I want a copy of this thing, man. I'm going to put it back behind me here, man, because I'm looking forward to seeing this thing here, man. And
well, this is what I did, Dan. All the guys that pre-ordered at phillybook.com, I had to order like almost 4,000 copies. So that's what's taking so long to send them out. Where Amazon, if you buy it now, it'll go out the next day. But what I want to do for everyone that pre-ordered it from my website, for guys like you, I upgraded it. I upgraded everyone to a hard copy, and I'm signing 4,000 copies.
Oh, great.
Where if you buy it from Amazon, you're not going to get a signed copy, and you're going to pay, $35, probably $5 or $10 more for the hard copy. But so I try to look out for the people that looked out for me.
Man, I think your story is so great, and I think that's one of the reasons you and I have hit it off all these years here now, since like 3-4 years now, and I just love your story, and I think your story is going to continue to grow, and I really love it here. So let me ask you some sports questions here now. Post-draft, Eagles right now, in your opinion, still the team to beat in the NFC? Or do you think because of all the losses on defense, do you think there's anybody else in the NFC that you think you'd like to take more action on than the Eagles? Because are they the preeminent favorite to win it again?
Well, as of right now, they're the odds-on favorite. Vegas offshore, right around 6.5 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
The Bills are right behind them at 7 to 1. Ravens are at 7 to 1. Chiefs are at 7.5 to 1. And then you got, teams like the Commanders, 49ers, Detroit Lions, all right there in the mix. But again, you saw what happened to the Detroit Lions last year. Listen, if they don't get hurt, they probably end up in the Super Bowl. If you look at, the roster they had 11 guys on IR going to that last game. And you got to stay healthy. It's the most important thing in the NFL. And if the Eagles can stay healthy again, they definitely got a great chance. They're the odds-on favorite to win the NFC East. But it's never easy repeating.
Absolutely.
So other teams got better. Commanders got better. Packers got better. 49ers got better.
Rams
got better. Detroit's still a monster if they can stay healthy. They're right there. They're right there.
So hook me up on this here tonight. NBA. Knicks take care of business tonight. 3-2 lead. They're in the Garden. They got the Celtics. Obviously, no Jason Tatum. The winner goes on and plays, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Pacers. So do they take care of business tonight, or does Boston force it back to the Garden?
It's a short line. Line's 2.5. Knicks are favored. Celtics last time out, they shot, 52% from the floor, 45% from the three-point line. It's not easy doing that again, especially with your star player out, Tatum. And you've played sports. I've played sports. When, your star goes out, the team, usually gets together and has one good game or maybe two. But it's hard to continue that when your star player is out. So I think the Knicks get it done tonight. I like the Knicks on the money line. I like them in the first half as well. And they probably cover that 2.5-point spread.
Over in the West, this has been an interesting series because the Nuggets fell behind the Thunder, and all of a sudden now they've rallied back. They're now 3-3, and they got this bad puppy. And tell me about the T-Wolves, dude. I mean, that's a 6 seed now in the Western Conference Finals. I think that's like their second or third year in a row now, or something crazy. I mean, so it's a really good organization, but I mean, first, tell me if you think who wins that series first out west. Then I'll ask you more about what the T-Wolves are. Thunder Nuggets, who takes that thing?
Well, before the season started, I think I gave it out on your show too. I got OKC at plus 750 to win the whole thing. I think they're the best team in the NBA, but the Nuggets are battle tested. I mean, they got Jokic. They got monsters on that team. Murray, last time out, they had 12 more rebounds, and they made 10 more 3-pointers than OKC. I don't see that happening again. I think OKC wins the series. They'll play Minnesota. Right now, OKC is the odds-on favorite to win it all at plus 130. Minnesota's at plus 550. The Nuggets are at 9 to 1 if you think they're going to get it done, and the Celtics are at 16 to 1. So if you think those teams still have what it takes because they won the last 2 NBA championships, you're getting good prices on them. But I think it's going to be OKC and Minnesota. And then you got the Knicks and the Pacers. You got a Pacers team that's really deep. You got a lot of solid players on. They play team basketball. That's a team to watch out for.
What's the betting line for the Knicks to win it all? Do you like them to potentially win it all, or do you think it's going to be one of those teams out west that's going to win it?
No, they got a shot. I think they're like 5.5 to 1, and then they got the Pope.
Yeah. Right. He got right. That's right, bro. The Nova guy.
Yeah,
right
the Nova guy. Yeah, he definitely got a shot, man. I don't think they can beat OKC. I think they can. Yeah, that series probably goes 7 with the Pacers. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be real fun to watch.
Man, I tell you, I can't believe the T-Wolves, man. I mean, they're rocking and rolling here. Let me go through some baseball here with you now. Yeah. Yankees are 4 games up on the Red Sox in Toronto in the East. How good are the Yankees in your opinion this year? I mean, starting pitching will always be an issue. I mean, they're excellent at home. A little bit tougher with them getting on the road here. 6-4 over the last 10, I believe. But is this a team that you look at was better than a year ago, or do they look like the same Yankees? They're 25-18 right now, I believe.
I don't know if they're as good as they were last year. They're still solid. I think their run differential is at like plus 81, which is right behind, I think, the Tigers and maybe the Dodgers. Right now, I think you got to lay 2-1 for them to win the division. So they're probably the best team in that division. The Orioles were supposed to be really good, and they've crapped the bed early, but it's a long season. And after 162 games, the cream usually rises to the top. And you might see the Orioles start playing some better baseball. But like you said, you got the Red Sox right behind them. You got Toronto, the Rays right there. But the Yankees are the best team in that AL. I like the Tigers. We bet them before the season started at 30-1. I took the Phillies at 11-1. They need to pick up some pitching. We also have the Padres at 29-1, even though the Dodgers on paper. I mean, they're monsters. But you don't win World Series on paper. You got to play the game. So it might – I mean, you could – and the Cubs are scoring a ton of runs.
Yeah.
This is a team that – I bet them to win the division, but I didn't think they were going to be this good. That's another team. If they get their pitching together, along with the Phillies are scoring a bunch of runs. They just – they're giving up a ton of runs as well. The Mets are surprising a lot of people. They're – last year they got hot at the end, and they've continued it this year. But I'm kind of happy the Phillies didn't get off to the start they got off to last year because they were so hot and then they faded late. I'd rather them get hot late. And in baseball, hockey, the teams that get hot late are usually the teams that get there.
What do you think is the best division in baseball? The American League East, the Central Division, Tigers and Indians are right there, like you said. But, man, you go out west. I mean, the only team that stinks out west is Colorado. They just got rid of Bud Black. And, I mean, look at these records. 29 wins, 27 wins, 26 wins, 24 wins. I mean, the Dodgers, as good as they are and as loaded as they are, they only got a game lead on the Padres out west. I mean, that's a hell of a division out there.
Yeah, and the NL East, that's a strong division, too. You got the Mets.
Yeah. Are you sold on the Mets?
They're a good team. I know early on they had like a 7-game winning streak or an 8-game winning streak, but they also won 7 or 8 games by 1 run. So they had a little luck to them, too. But they're a good team. I think the Phillies are better when they get their stuff together. But it's going to come down to the wire with those two teams like it did last year. But the West, I mean, the NL West, they're monsters, man. Those teams, other than Colorado. I mean, you can just bet against Colorado every night and make a ton of money this year.
All right, I'm going to ask you one last question here, and I'm going to circle back to the book here. Philly mob, Mexican mob. Who did you not want to see in the rearview mirror?
You don't want to see the cartel anywhere, man. That Philly mob, you can get around there. You throw them a couple cannolis, you throw them some chicken parm sandwiches. That cartel from Mexico, they're no joke. I mean, there's some serious people. So
would you rather be in a Yuma jail or would you rather be in a Tijuana jail?
You know what's so bad about Yuma? It was 122 degrees with no air conditioning. When you're sitting around with mass murderers, guys that are doing double life, triple life, you can't really talk to anybody. It's and they got swamp coolers that after 105 degrees, they don't really work. So for like 4 months, you're just sweating. The walls are sweating. The ceiling's sweating. And you're just second-guessing every decision you ever made in your life. And how the hell did I get here? So, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, like I've told you this before. So I was supposed to play college football at Texas Western in Yuma. And I drove through Yuma every time because when we would go see my daughter play in Arizona and Phoenix, because she went to Grand Canyon. So we would drive through Yuma, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is where I was going to go to school. I mean, the only thing you see is sand.
Yeah.
Sand and those mountains in the background, and you got the Border Patrol up everyone's wazoo out there. That's all you got going on out there. And it was like 120 degrees. Like the wind chill was like 120. Can you imagine being in a room with no AC?
It was so bad. It's one of the hottest places in the world. I think it's like top 3 or something. Mile from Mexico. Yeah, it's rough. And the reason why they sent me to the worst prison in Arizona is because I went to trial. So when you go to trial and you fight your case and you make them spend money, they get a little upset and they send you to the worst prison if you lose. So that's why they sent me to Yuma.
That's crazy, man. Well, I'm very happy for you, man. I'm glad this thing is kicking ass. Folks, tell the folks, there it is right there. Hey, do me a favor, Godfather. Tell them how they can get that book too and how they can order it.
If you go to phillybooked.com, you'll get an autographed copy, and I'll upgrade you to a hard copy for free. If you go to Amazon, you'll get it the next day, but you'll probably get a paperback unless you pay an extra $10. No signature on there. You can go to Barnes & Nobles, and it's pretty much everywhere right now. We got a bunch of book signings lined up. Bunch of good things are going on, man. I got meetings with Netflix. The movie's coming, so you're going to be in it. And
yeah, Big Sills got to roll in the movie.
It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun.
Hey, dude, I'll get you on the Tampa show Tuesday next week. It's a 50,000 watt station. We're going to be on in Orlando, Jacksonville, I think New Orleans, and Atlanta. I think it all like kind of hits in those markets and all, especially down in Florida too, because I love your story. You know I do. You know how much I really like you, and you and I are friends now, big time for life. You know how that works, man. So, hey, you, just like you with your old lady, I've been with my old lady for almost 40 years too. It ain't, you know, like I said, I've never met anybody I hated more, but I've never met anybody I love more in my life than my old lady. So it's kind of the way. I think she feels the same way about me too. So we're good.
And as you know, my wife's Puerto Rican, and what they say.
Holy, but on to me, you got a loaded shotgun there, my friend.
Yeah, and what they say is, if God didn't make that Puerto Rican women so beautiful, nobody would talk to them.
That's just like Italian chicks. Hey, I appreciate you so much, Godfather. Thank you so much for coming aboard. We'll do this again. Thank you again, my friend.
Go Birds.
You got it. That is the legendary Philly Godfather. Look at that. What a story. Big Sil's a movie star. Hold on here. I got to put my movie face on, Sue. Hold on here. There's my movie face. And I'm playing a biker. So I got to probably grow my goatee back. My aunt will hate this. So I'm going to grow it back. Let me tell you something, Sue. Badasses don't have a script. They are the script. Remember that, sugar britches. All right? I don't read scripts. My life is a script. Yeah. Just remember that, sugar britches. I am the script. Reading scripts. See, now that's not nice, mommy baby. How you doing? All right. Don't forget my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in the United States. We got people in here using them. Xander sent me that nice clip. That's great. I'm going to send that off to John Morgan. Folks, I tell you this, if you're ever injured, you can't make a better selection than choosing Morgan & Morgan. You know why? Because they win. If you've ever been injured, you check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan. This will be the easiest decision you'll ever make. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That is forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone and Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Love this here. Jack, thank you so much. Sales, great show, brother. Love the back and forth. That's what this is about. Okay? Definitely an Oscar in your future. My God, could Big Sills ever won? I tell people this. If I ever won, like the Heisman Trophy, I would hang that thing around my neck like I was Flavor Flav. I'd have that Heisman hanging around my neck. Have a great weekend, everyone. Good luck with the house, Z. Go Birds. There you go. 9-month member. There you go, Jack. Thank you, man. I love the fact that you guys are really totally getting it. The show goes nowhere without you guys. Okay? Absolutely. Even tools like, see this guy here? Look at this. I don't know. It was a Xander. I'm going to find still saying, he bent the knee for Sirianni. Yeah, you do that, sweetness. I need you to flood social media with it. To stick it in Big Sills' face. Since the Twizwa. Twizwa is Pizwa. Between you and Prince today, okay, you've had awful days. Total L's. Total L's today, you and Prince. Got him. Look at that, made his day. Hey, if I can help your day by getting him, how you doing? Sue Sugar Britches and your bitchy bitches. You didn't get my super, Xander. The supers matter. Supers matter. Okay? Supers matter. You always take an L. This guy, Mommy, bro, change that name. I don't want to call you that. I feel really weird. I feel like you have a ninny or something. I mean, come on, Mommy. I don't know. You know, I don't mind calling Sue Mommy. Calling you Mommy, I don't know. It sounds weird calling somebody like that. And then the thing you got here, the whole thing's weird. Come on, you know, toughen it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I know something you eat every day, Master. And it ain't crow. Sills, I just heard Trump's just rescinded Prince's pardon. Is that why he's back in the can? You know, he was the guy with the bullhead on. You know, the guy was in Pelosi's office. Is that what happened to him? He's back in the puka, huh? All right. That sounds about right. Guys, have yourselves a great weekend. Make sure you tell somebody you love them too, man. It's all good. Guys, thank you so much. We'll catch you Monday going 2 to 6. Have a fabulous weekend. Big Joe, Xander, thank you. 2 to 6 on Monday, and we'll see you on the flip side.